radio breakfast show in Liberia, the OK Morning Rush, with your presenter, Clarence Piso Jackson.
The morning breeze blows, and then you wake up and look around the town and look all in the village. Sometimes you move to your neighbor's house, you want to find out. I like to say good morning to all of you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the OK Morning Rush. It's on Thursday, 12th March 2026. March is gradually leaving us. Good morning to all of you. After the decoration day yesterday, where people went to decorate and pay respect to the dead, congratulations to all of you. Some of you left Monrovia, you've now returned. Some of you left counties, you came to Monrovia. You will be making your way back this morning. Some will remain until the weekend. Others are leaving the towns and villages outside Monrovia in the counties and trying to make their way back. Thanks to all of you. It's always good to remember our people. Sometimes the memories are fresh. Sometimes, at some point, the person was the only breadwinner in the family. And then everything is gone. You miss him or her. That's life. Good morning to all of you. This is the OK Morning Rush. It's on 99.5 OK FM. From the nation's capital, a lot of concerns about the situation at the Liberian Guinean border in Foya district in Lofa County. What is it? Let's take a break to be right back.
Check out, mommy. Are we running LLA so?
Mommy, I let her. I'm going to join the bank line nah, before the place get back.
Bank line?
Yeah.
Hey, check out, you really wasting time in the player. You not hear about the Bloomberg digital app yet?
Bloomberg app? You sure that thing really working?
My man, what are you talking so? The thing working. On that app, you know, I think all you can do?
No.
You making phone, my man. So you just press small. You tap small. You can send money right away. You pay your bill. You check your balance. You can even borrow small money right on your telephone.
You mean all that thing can really happen inside the one phone?
Yeah, so it's working everywhere in Liberia with HNC banking and even all around Africa. You can even use your own currency. And you know what they call currency? You can use it in your own Liberian dollar.
Then I'm inside for good. From today, call me Papa Bloomberg Ticketer.
My people, you all go to the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. We download the Bloomberg app so our life can be easy. My people, we ready to bloom. Bloomberg Africa, make it happen.
You want flash so you're banking.
Are you seeking financial empowerment, dreaming of building your future? Then your solution is Bokonjira Group of Companies. Bokonjira your trusted partner in microfinance, construction, and general services. We provide microfinance for many institutions like House of Representatives, the Liberian Senate, National Port Authority, Governors Commission, LRA, Gender Ministry, Corporate Development Authority, GAC, and Auto Lines Ministry and Agency, with a percentage range from 15% to 20%. At Bokonjide, we understand your aspiration, your goals, and your dreams. That's why we offer tailored microfinance solutions designed to uplift individuals and communities alike. Whether you are an entrepreneur with a vision or a family aiming for a better tomorrow, our microfinance services pave the way to financial independence. But that's not all. Bokonjide Group of Companies doesn't just stop at microfinance. Our expert construction team brings your architecture dreams to life. From residential to commercial projects, we craft spaces that inspire, innovate, and endure. And when it comes to general services, Bokonjide is your one-stop destination. From facility management to logistics, we ensure seamless operation every step of the way. With our apartment rental and furnished apartment for long and short-term stay, you will enjoy the luxury of comfort. Join the thousands who have entrusted their dreams to Bokonjide. Experience unmatched professionalism, dedication, and integrity. With Bokonjide Group of Companies, your success is not just a goal, it's our mission. Visit our Capitol Building office or find us in the Royal Garden Plaza on Crown Hill Broad Street, or call today 0770-520-958 or 0777-017-603 or 0886-622-599 or email Bokonjide Group of Companies at gmail.com. Bokonjide Group of Companies, microfinance, construction, general services, your partner in progress. New Day, do something.
We are brave. We are passionate.
Hey, Tanu, I need cash and there is no ATM around here.
Really? Did you try the EcoBank POS?
POS? I said I need cash. What is it about POS?
Judy, you can get your cash through the POS. All you need to do is to visit any EcoBank Express Point or petrol trade gas station and request to use the POS. Guess what? It can also take other bank cards.
Oh, widow. You mean cards from banks overseas too?
Yes, it should just be your Visa card.
Wow, great. So when there is no ATM around me, I'll just use the POS to get my money fast. EcoBank has made it too easy, man. EcoBank and innovation that real 5 and 6 so.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
I say, my people, First National Savings and Loans Liberia not do it again. Oh, I say, my people, y'all listen. First National Savings and Loan Liberia not do it again. Oh,
but when I come, why you shouting all around the place like you not find bank manager well so?
Namo, even if I find bank manager well, I would be very happy.
Like how now?
Because all the things that the First National Savings and Loans Liberia doing, it will really take away our stress. Oh.
In what way it will take away your stress?
Look, Namo, if you're looking for a good place to save your money you suffer for, or you want your money to receive good interest over a period of time, then go to the First National Savings and Loans Liberia. At First National Savings and Loans Liberia, you can open savings account, current account, church savings, SUSU savings, and mobile banking. You will get account SMS alerts right away, meaning as soon you save the money, you will get message on your phone right away that you not save the money.
So Goku, the way you not do all the fancy then so what should do now if I want to open my own account?
Namo, when it comes to opening a saving account for church, school, and organization, you can call them and they can open the account for you right to your own house, school, church, or organization. If you want to pay your children's school fees, you can also do it when you call them too. Try to join them to make things easy for yourself.
I rather missing good in you.
Also, First National Savings and Loans Liberia can offer you different ways to do what the poor people call fixed deposit, or to keep your money starting from 13% per annual, meaning per year for Liberian dollars deposit, and 10.25% per annual, meaning also per year for United States dollar deposit for what the poor people call fixed deposit. First National Savings and Loans Liberia. We are located on 10th Street Sinker. Better still, you can call us on 0779 206 231 or 0886 027 466, and we will come to you. First National Savings and Loan Liberia is a microfinance deposit taking institution. At First National Savings and Loans Liberia, we put you and your business first.
Sandra, where are you going?
To the next water and sewer office to pay my bills.
But you live not too far from Pinsville City Hall.
Yes, but water and sewer got no office in that area.
Oh, so you don't hear the news yet?
What news?
The Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation has a new cashier center at the Pinsville City Hall where all LWSC bills can be paid daily, Monday to Friday, from 8 in the morning to 5 p.m.
What? So you won't tell me I've been wasting time on this road waiting for back when I could just walk to the Pinsville City Hall to pay my water bills?
Enjoy improved, efficient, and convenient financial services at the new LWSC Cashier Center, recently opened at the Pinsville City Hall for our value customers, mainly people living in the vicinity. For more information, call 0777 464 171, 0886 616 767, 0886 617 200, or our orange call-free number 5972.
Tired of waiting forever for a car? Need a ride that's fast, safe, and reliable? Say hello to NASA Ride, the smarter way to move around Monrovia. With NASA Ride, you are just one tap away from comfort. If it's work, school, or a night out with friends, go for NASA Ride. Our drivers are trusted, our fares are fair, and your safety comes first. NASA Ride makes my life easier. No stress, no hustle, just ride and relax. Car rental, pick and drop, airport transfer, luxury ride, 24/7 services, daily and hourly rental. NASA Ride, located 3rd Street in Sinco, adjacent Telecel Liberia. Call 0773 882 264 or 0887 221 196. Download NASA Ride app on Google Play Store or Apple Store. Book in seconds and enjoy the ride you deserve. Remember, wherever you are going, NASA Ride takes you there. NASA Ride, your city, your ride. NASA Ride, fast, reliable, and safe.
Good news to all travelers in and out of Liberia. ST Transport Service has introduced new fleets of buses in Liberia to take travelers from Monrovia directly to Ghana, Abidjan, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. We also do connection for our passengers to Lomé, Cotonou, and Lagos, as well as Bamako, Dakar, and Banjul. We also travel from Monrovia to Plebo Harper, Maryland County. For more information, you can visit our red light office opposite Zone 9 Depot 1 Police Station or call us on 0775 908830, 0886 888 538, 0777 77 5501, and 0555 558801. What are you waiting for? Come and enjoy our fast, reliable, and comfort service. ST is here to serve you.
We'd like to say welcome back to the OK Morning Rush this morning. Thanks to all of you for joining us. Let's go to our Facebook page, OKFM 99.5 and OK TV, and recognize some of the people joining us this morning. Abu Kamara says, good morning, OKFM. Roland B. Wewia, he says, morning, CJ. I'm following from somewhere in Police Academy. Jerry Grisby says, good morning. I'm following the OKFM family. Solomon J. Severs, good morning. He's joining us from Nima County. Matthew Alaba Antochie is joining us from somewhere in Kuwait, around the Douala Market area. Man Cyril Son joins us Aaron Kazan, good morning. Komlan Lee Kwete Wedgele is joining us. This name is nothing short of the southeastern region. What amazing has joined us. Papi S. Keita, Peter Lim Peters joins us from Congo Town. Wisa Tichi joins in. He says from the Capitol Building office. Joseph Sarko is in. Perry Ju Eric is in. Sky S. Kamara. Stephen Fala Jr. is in. Ali Mohammed Kane joining us from Grand Kitmount County. Kenyo B. Mountain Mining Company Mines. Jacob Mwenkwi joins us from the headquarters, he says, of the Innovative Youth Alliance Indo Community. Albert Bumi joins us. Zwana Kama joins in. Kazi W. Kape. Mohamed Samboy has joined us. Alfonso K. Duno Senior. Jerry Nima Nimpan is joining. Amara Sese, the names are many. Grace N. Dixon. Princess, that's Prince D. Sayer. Isaiah Smith. Amos D. Williams. Honorable Chukom Mundet. Fomba M. Sise. Lasana Thomas. I don't know, Sankara or what. I don't see the end of the last name. Eric Hinam. Henceforth Joseph Plileke Zogbe. Plileke Zogbe. Adam May Taylor, David Seeley, Daniel Tente, Francis Nash, Addison, Abu Sisse, Stephen Farah Jr. Well, amazing. Thanks to all of you, man, for joining us. Let's go to the BBC. Let's see what's happening in other places around Africa, maybe around us here. Let's do this and see what's going on with the BBC. Let's go on. What's going on with other places in Africa. The South African government has summoned the new U.S. ambassador after he made what they called undiplomatic comments about an anti-apartheid chant. Leo Brent Bozella III, who started in the role last month, caused offense by disagreeing with a legal ruling about the chant "Ken the Boer." Some say the chant amounts to hate speech, although the Constitutional Court has ruled previously that it does not. If it doesn't, then why I won't hold it, man? Okay. Maybe one major thing to talk about, or a few other things. By the way, we'll go to Vonjima in Lofa County to talk to our correspondent there about a situation at the border, at one of our, crossing point. Let me just say it that way. Crossing points with the Republic of Guinea. But I wanted to say a few things. All of us see the sentiments on social media. We see the sentiments. We see the patriotism. We see the love for country. We see all the right things. We see some people with too much energy. They want to fight. Some people want retaliation. They want our military to bomb Guinea. They want war. They want this. They believe that Liberia has been overlooked and somebody is attempting to tamper with the sovereignty of our country. They think that the area is not doing well. They think that the government is not doing well. We should move in. We should do this. We should do this. It depends on who's talking. Some people talking from a perspective that is well-informed, from a well-informed perspective. They know what they're saying. Of course, others are talking from the perspective that they do not understand some of these things and how it works. So there are multidimensional views among people, and you can't blame anybody for the way people respond to things sometimes the way they understand it, right? Up to now, there are different stories. I listened to our correspondent the other day on Julia's show, and he did exceptionally well. He gave us another perspective that a lot of people didn't talk about. Initially, we were wondering what was the issue, because imagine similar situation happened with Guinea and Sierra Leone, and it didn't take strength to solve it. It didn't take muscles to solve it. It took diplomacy to solve it, right? So, when James was reporting, James talked about sand mining, that there is a company on the Liberian side of the border, on the Liberian side of the border that is doing sand mining over there. And apparently the Guinean soldiers or the Guinean authority might be thinking that beyond sand, maybe there's mineral and blah, blah, blah. And they crossed into our border, you know, and planted their flag poles. And then after discussions, and they go again and plant poles, and there was gunfire, and somebody got injured. By the way, it is good to say nobody died. We heard a lot of information about 3 deaths. 2 deaths, 1 person died. No, I've been talking to higher ups in both the police, the military, and people knowledgeable about what's going on over there. There hasn't been any death. Of course, somebody was wounded. Now, you know, the way we see the thing in FOIA, or the thing that going on at that border, the way some of us want a handle, the government is not going to handle it like that. The first thing is your country, Liberia. By the way, 8 o'clock, I will have our CMC political leader, MUSSA BILITY, will come 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock, a Liberian economist, Sam Jackson, will be here today. Now, Liberia sits, your country is sitting at a place where we are supposed to be one of the nations around the world to champion peace, stability, security, rule of law, everything. Our placement, our seat, our current role as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council gives us a lot of responsibilities, if some of you don't know. We carry a special global responsibility to uphold the principles of restraint, to be extremely patient. There's something called restraint. Our role as a non-permanent member of the Security Council has placed upon us, upon our shoulders, a responsibility for restraint. A responsibility for engaging in extra diplomatic activities. Respect also for international laws. So you see what we said? Even besides sitting there are a lot of international and other domestic laws that obligate our country, that put on our shoulders a lot of responsibilities. But our sit down on the United Nations Security Council as a non-permanent member has added, it has taken us to a global level. So we're no longer supposed to see things the way others see it. We're no longer supposed to respond to things the way others respond to it, because we are supposed to be a shining example now. That principle of restraint, that engagement in diplomacy, as a matter of fact, like it, take it or you leave it, there are 15 countries, including Liberia, that have been entrusted with global mandate of international peace and security. That is why we are a member of the United Nations Security Council, a non-permanent member though. So we have a burden of keeping this world at peace with itself and to ensure security is in place. Then also, we in Guinea are in a group called the Economic Community of West African States, the African Union. So we share a lot of things with Guinea. Look, right now on the international scene, we and Guinea are equal. So we have to play the big brother role. I can understand all the sentiments. I am strongly convicted that Liberia is handling this matter diplomatically, and only diplomacy can resolve this thing. And the president of the country, who is the chief foreign policy architect of our country, I am sure, has given some instructions to the dame of the cabinet, Her Excellency Sarah Beslo Nyanti, to engage her Guinean counterpart. Mind you, we do not have military regime in Guinea anymore. If we had a military regime, maybe the president would have sent a small delegation, maybe the Minister of National Defense, the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, retired General Mamadou Doumbouya is no longer a military man. He has transitioned. We have a civilian government in Guinea now. So let's take time, my people. This thing here, MUSSA can end it. Fighting can end it. That diplomacy can end it. And there are people trained in this thing. We have never gotten lack of. We got many of them here. I can sit on the radio and I can name a lot of them. They know how to go about it. So let's allow the diplomats, let's allow the government to play its role for us. I understand, the people crossing the power flag is against our sovereignty. We need to move on it. What the AFL doing, say? Now that police job over there. I can understand. But to solve the problem, now buka. Like I said, globally, internationally, if we're placing the two countries on the map, we're bigger than Guinea. We sit in a room where Guinea needs our support. Amen. If we can play the big brother role now, then what time we'll play now? We have to exercise. That's why I'm talking about the principle of restraint. We have to exercise extreme restraint. So they see us as that mirror. So let's allow the government to work on this one. You know, when the government do things, we can beat the government. But let's allow diplomacy to play in. The second thing I want to talk about is, look, I stand to be corrected. Maybe the fact checker can check the one and everybody can check it. I stand to be corrected. In my opinion, there hasn't been any time in the history of our country where we have more trained and educated men and women of the armed forces of Liberia than we have now. No, you never heard me. I'm saying I stand to be corrected. In my opinion, there has never been any moment, any time in the history of the country where we have more educated and trained men and women in armed of the armed forces of Liberia than we have now. No. Our military people have gone and graduated from some of the best military training institutions around the world. This military, we can go to bed and sleep. And you think the military is not deployed in Lofa? You're joking. But when these kinds of things come about, these very educated military people can go into their war room. They study the situation. And listen, military intervention is the last option. Don't worry about, Guinea people, Guinea Soya King, they crossed the border, they planted their flag, blah, blah. Look, even if our military people were assigned at that borderline, I am not sure they would take the situation the way the Guineans were taking it. We have some of the most educated and most disciplined and very trained AFL people. I can boast of that in the sub-region. They know about warfare. They know about planning war. They know about everything. And you think they just sit in and put their hands and they don't want to deploy, blah, blah, blah. Their intervention in our matter is beyond what you and myself think. Let's sit down. Now, there was a gunfire situation at the border. Let's be careful with the way we go about it. What happened over there? Did somebody from our side fire a single barrel gun? And the Guinea soldiers thought it was a military present and open fire and they fire and the bullet hit somebody? Or was it the Guinean soldiers who came there and they started firing and the bullet hit somebody? Did they really mean to shoot somebody in the leg? I'm not justifying anything. By the way, that's why I said Liberia will engage this thing diplomatically. No Guinean soldier is supposed to shoot any of our people in the leg, especially in these kinds of situations. But you gotta be careful with the way we go about it. Let's know first who fired. What happened? Did we fire and the Guineans fire and hit one of us? Or we didn't fire on our side at all and it was a Guinean soldier who fired? Or somebody fired? What kind of bullet did they use? So you see, so it's a composition of different things. Let's trust the military. Let's trust our government. I am sure they are engaging this thing diplomatically and they are engaging it militarily too. Let's lay down the sentiments. We went through a lot in this country. Yeah, I know the argument about this is not the first time. They did it before 2 years ago, and one other time they can't even pull our people. The LIS is not even able to deploy there now. The government will handle it. And I'm also calling on the government to provide more support to the armed forces of Liberia. I don't see that yet. The other day, the president was talking about recruiting 600 soldiers every year from now to 2029, but I don't see recruitment budget in the current national budget. We need to be intentional about the things we want to do. By now we should have a lot. Our military, well, I don't know the strength, but I'm not sure we passed 3,000. We should have more military people by now. There's been a sensation of hostility in this country ever since. Ever since. There's been a sensation of hostilities in this country ever since. So let's not make the thing to look like, oh, the army don't want to do nothing. The army, where is the AFL in all this? And you think the AFL is sitting? It's not true. It's not true. The AFL is not sitting. The AFL is not sitting. I am not sure they are sitting. Even though they may not have all it takes, they may still be seeking some support from the government, but they are on top of these things. I am telling you, the AFL has been deployed to that place. But it's not fire for fire kind of thing. And sometimes we need to be careful. I know our people want to defend the country, and our people they felt overlooked. They thought our sovereignty was being tempered or trampled upon and all those kind of things. But what we saw in Foya, how can we discuss it? Where people came also with those numbers of guns and the cutlasses and all these things. We have a commander-in-chief of the army who is the president. We have a national security advisor to the president. We have the NSA. We have other security agencies, and we have the military. I am sure if the situation gets to the stage where we need to respond militarily, I am sure if we get to the stage where Liberia needs to respond militarily, the armed forces of Liberia will respond militarily. The commander-in-chief will give mandate. And you think these people, you think our people, you think our government hasn't observed all those things, yeah? Like I said, the same way when we have elections, the people can go into their war room, Amara Konen and all the other people who understand elections, monitoring, and the way to track the numbers, the way they can go in the war room and know who's winning in where. That is how the military works in these kinds of situations. That is how the NSA will work. That is how other security apparatus will work. They go into their whatever warfare room. They see the pros and the cons. They see the probability and the possibility and the negativity, and they do comparative analysis, and they will inform the national security advisor to the president, and they will inform the office of the president and say, oh yeah, anyway, our people talking the way it is, but these people pose no threat. We got it in our drag already. Any attempt, we will move on them. We know what we're on. We are already at the border. Everything is under control. The hardest thing that can happen. So let's calm down. You know, let's play the big brother role on this one. It is not a good thing. And I'm sure our diplomatic people will engage the Guinean government and let the government know that to have even arrogated onto itself that authority to leave Guinea, to come on Liberian soil, to plant a pole, to plant their flag, indirectly by extension, was a declaration of war on our country. That courage, that resilience, the plan, the calculation to even leave from Guinea, to get on Kinor, to come to Liberia, to I don't know whether they brought our flag down, but to have planted a Guinean flag on Liberian soil was by reasoning and extension a declaration of war. That is how it is. Do we fight? No. We need to first engage. We need to understand what the issues are. Our government need to engage with them. Why did you cross over? Why you planted your... what do we need to know? We need to have a frank conversation on this thing. And I'm sure that matter will get settled. Let me go to Louvain now and see what I can talk to our correspondent, James Colley, and then we can come back here. But just give me a break. Just give me 1 minute break. I'm taking a break. I'll be right back. Just give me 1 minute. In a minute's time, I'll come right back here very, very shortly. I'm taking a break. I'm coming back.
Good news to all travelers in and out of Liberia. ST Transport Service has introduced new fleets of buses in Liberia to take travelers from Monrovia directly to Ghana, Abidjan, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. We also do connection for our passengers to Lomé, Cotonou, and Lagos, as well as Bamako, Dakar, and Banjul. We also travel from Monrovia to Plebo Harper, Maryland County. For more information, you can visit our red light office opposite Zone 9 Depot 1 Police Station or call us on 0775 908830, 0886 888 538, 0777 775501, and 0555 558801. What are you waiting for? Come and enjoy our fast, reliable, and comfort service. ST is here to serve you.
Okay, I took a break, so we are back. So we are back. So that's it. So I'm about to go to Lofa County to talk to our Lofa County correspondent, James Colley, to tell us how is Vonjeman this morning. What has he heard from Foya so far? How is the situation there? But I insist that we keep calm and allow our government to lead the process. James Colley is on the line, I am sure, from Vonjeman. Or probably James slept in Foya last night. James, good morning. Where are you, my friend?
I'm in Vonjeman. I came back to Vonjeman last night.
Okay, you came back to Vonjeman last night. When you got to Foya last evening, can you just give us a picture of how Foya, how are the people, doing and all these things before we talk about how Vonjeman is this morning?
So I entered Foya yesterday. The first place I visited was the Boma Hospital to be able to see the guy that was shot in his legs. And I saw a very huge number of citizens from Foya who are going to the Boma Hospital to see one of their citizens who were lying, with bullet in his legs. And, we saw a group of people leaving from La Salova and coming to Foya. So Foya yesterday was really packed. I'm discussing the city because only men were brave to stay around all of the towns around the border there, but the people were moving and coming to Foya.
So the shooting situation occurred yesterday, right?
Yeah, yesterday occurred.
Now, what do you know? Did the Guinea soldiers cross again and open fire, or what happened? What did you hear? Did somebody from our side fire gun and then they fire in return? What did you hear?
So yesterday, and the day before yesterday, the young people that responded to the situation when the Guinean soldiers planted the pole and hosted their flag, the group of young people that responded slept at the port of entry.
Okay.
And the next morning, which was yesterday, civilians from Guinea said they were coming across to respond to what happened, that their soldiers were molested by our citizens. So they were coming also as civilians to counter our young people who slept at the border there. And some of them managed to cross to the Liberian side, and our youth was able to capture some of them. So in response to that, the soldiers started shooting from across the Makona River. They did not cross to the Liberian side, but according to those young people that were at the port of entry to our Liberian side, confirmed that those soldiers were seated in the trees. Some of them were on the ground while they were doing the shooting from a distance to our young people across the river. When the commissioner got the information, he tried to move in to the port of entry to find out actually what was happening because of the gun sound that was just coming from the site where one of the office staff received that bullet in his legs when the two of them had gone to the water side to find out what actually was happening. And that's how they left the place and brought the guy that was shot in his legs at the Burma hospital, and later the Liberian National Police, the ERU and PSU officers joined the commissioner, and some other citizens moved to the site. But up to yesterday evening, those soldiers were still shooting, going from the Guinea-Bissau and across the river. They did not cross.
Where is or are the Guineans who were captured?
They were later released based on the intervention of the district commissioner, Das Bongoy, when our young people captured those Guineans across to respond to or to revenge to what our youth did to the soldiers, and the commissioner intervened and they were released and they crossed back. But the shooting continued yesterday up to 5 o'clock. The soldiers were still across the Guinea-Bissau shooting, while our Liberian National Police were on our side, preventing our young people from going, because the young people mobilized more men and they wanted to cross despite the shooting. They wanted to cross the river to confront those guys that were across the river shooting.
Yes, I noticed one or two. Councillor Nelson Freeman, the Deputy Inspector General of Police for Operations, and I thought he did a great job. I'm sure they'll stay there. Now, is crossing the water the only means by which one can get into Liberia or into Guinea from that town right over there? Is Kino the only means by which people can cross? Do we have any land area where you can just walk and you're in Guinea? I'm talking about right to where the thing is taking place.
No, only that side, only the Kino news there. There are another area too, but you have to also use Kino. Yesterday, as Liberians were leaving, coming to Foya, some of the Guineans are in Foya were also going, using that other side to go back to their country.
Now, I'm asking because, listen, now were the Guinean soldiers standing across the river there shooting in, or they were in the Guinean town, the next available Guinean town, and just shooting? I just even though you're not a military person, but I want to have a picture of how the whole shooting thing, because were they standing? Because I think when the thing started, neither you could see the Guinean people on the other side of the water, our Liberian people. Were they standing on that side, or they were in one Guinean town and they just shoot? And they were
standing on the other side directly across the river. As the shooting was going on, they were on the side of the river.
So, how did you leave Foya? How did you leave Foya? How is Vonchema this morning?
Vonchema is good, and everyone wanting to hear what's happening in Foya. Okay. The superintendent left from Vonchema last evening. He slept in Foya. This morning, the superintendent and the local authorities in Foya, they will also be going to the border there to interact with the Liberian National Police, who slept, and the young people also slept with the police there because they were ensuring that our people do not cross. So the superintendent and the district leadership of Foya will be going there this morning to interact with the police and know as to whether the soldiers are still across the river.
Finally, James, at some point I noticed something like an interpretation was going on. I don't know whether they were speaking the Gisi from the both sides, because I know the people across there to speak the Gisi. Who initiated? Was there any meeting initiated and then people were interpreting? Was it meant to really understand the both sides and what was going on?
I don't understand Kisi, and I'm not sure there was any organized meeting on yesterday morning relating to what happened there.
Okay, because I saw somebody on, I think the Liberian side, the Guinean side, they were speaking Gizi. I thought there was a meeting like, you stand over there, we stand here.
There are other people who tried to talk to them because it took some time for citizens to cross from Guinea. They were like exchanging war. Our youth were on this side, while the citizens were on our side. Making statement that they want to cross, and our young people were also on the side talking. They were like having a conversation, one team on the other side, they were having a conversation until later on when they crossed.
So the honest truth about this matter is nobody has died.
No, No. We acquest the commissioner. He said no one died, and I also talked to the young people that were at the water side when the shooting started, and they said no life was lost in the process. It is that person, Edward Labi, who sustained that injury through the bullet in his legs, and one lady also is at Boma, but her own, it was through accident when they were leaving the site with speed, so she was involved in accident. So the two persons that sustained injury yesterday did not die.
James Colley, thank you so much. Our Lofa County correspondent, James, we're very proud of you. Thank you. He's on the line from Vanjaman there in Lofa County. And we are here. I know the government issued a statement a few days ago. It would be good if the government could come out with any public statement again, to reassure all of us that it is in control of the situation. These kinds of situations, you don't leave us in suspense. The government should continue to talk, because sometimes when you delay, the government is not talking. I'm talking about talking in the sense of maybe just issuing a statement, so you let us know that the government is still engaging with its Guinean partners and reassure us about what the next moves will be. Maybe the government has sent a delegation to Guinea and blah, blah, blah. Just let us rise up, The government should talk to us on this matter so as to alleviate the fears and take away all the public sentiment, the rumors and the speculations and other things. I'm not sure it's a good idea if the government didn't talk to us. Probably maybe the whole day today. The other day, yes, the government issued statements. 0777 700-995 555-995-995. If you are an official of the government or civil society present, you want to say something, you can call my number, or you can call this number 0777 46 4050. Musa Belete come will take him shortly. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you, CJ. Jimmy, and I call you from Honorable Teddy Civil Avenue this morning.
Yeah, Jimmy.
First of all, Clarence, let me appreciate the young people in Lofa County for what they did. If I was there, that's the thing I'm going to do. But Clarence, there's a city that we'll be discussing in the country, Clarence. The military, all the security forces need to see our bases in strategic country, Clarence. Coming the situation, the way that we responded to the situation was late. That was disrespect.
What did you want Liberia to do?
No, Gary, I know mentally enforced Liberia now, police to go there in terms of violence, no. But I'm talking about self-response, Gary.
You talking about what?
I'm talking about self-response. The former man, even the security force responded was slow. It was so Gary, if the men wanted to catch on the whole of Fuller,
and you really sure of what you were saying, and you really think the military never heard about this thing, and nobody was on top of anything, and every one of us were in Monrovia and our hands were filled? I don't think so, because I know the military, because I know I even reached out to the military at some point, and the military said they were not talking on the matter, but they were on top of what was happening. And because the military said they were not talking publicly. The government was engaged in the matter. So it just said to me that the military was not insensitive. The military is aware of what was going on.
So Karen, Liberia is a very decent society. Our military or our security forces are going to be down there. They shouldn't have paper yesterday. I was going to take it because I know they are going to put our phone on control.
Okay, sir. Let's go here and talk. Let's hear you. Hello.
Hello, Clarence.
Good morning.
Clarence, my name is Ishmael. I join you from Kingsville.
Yeah, Ishmael, let's hear you.
These situations are not new. These are cross-border tension. I'm just surprised that two GC communities who share just a small river in the Makuna area, who have all the agreements, tribal relationships, traditional relationships, who allow...
Exactly, because GC on his side, GC on our side. Our people are related, yeah?
I remember in Nimba, like 20 years ago, there was a similar kind of tension between the ethnic groups, the manner between Guinea and Liberia. And it was just saw by what they call a devil coming into the town, and there was no government intervention. So they're escalating too much. It doesn't make sense. When you listen to the Guinean narrative of the situation, on the Guinean newspaper yesterday morning, they were reporting that a Liberian intruder have gone to MUSSA and without on somebody's land, and then the person reported it to the Guinean police. So the Guinean police want to arrest the person, and then the arrest went out of control. So that's narrative to Guinea, So they are putting it like, oh, they're trying to fight a war. So I think Liberians are running away too much. Our youth, on the Liberian side too, you see the action kind of counterproductive. We have to all rein them in.
Okay, thank you. I attempted to get the information minister for Guinea through one of my friends, a parliamentarian there, but it wasn't possible. I really wanted to get the Guinean perspective of what was happening and those kinds of things. Hello.
Very good morning.
I see a call here. I want to.
This is Chelo Momolu Press Week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I condemn this attitude, what the Guineans have done. They should know that Liberia is older than they are. Number one. Number two, Guinea and Liberia, there's no conflict supposed to be between us. As the Guinean knows, they will never cross a Liberian border. And this is the last time they do that. It will be.
No, Chief. We're not going outside, boss man. We're not coming to come threatening people here on radio. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Clarence.
Yeah?
I'm a Gosso Gaga and I call from District 10.
All right, Gaga.
Okay, in military operation or in this kind of situation, we need to be very careful. I was here in 1983 when there was a problem between Samuel Doe and Seven. Doe sent full trouble for army people there, and we know what happened there. All of anger.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling all of us.
What the military, even the army people were over there to the border, they were not going to fire Guinea.
They're willing.
They were going to wait. So people should have, people they were slow to this and that. All the people are talking the same way. Here now, we don't have mass now for Guinea to fight.
My man, that's why I said, if we have never had a disciplined, trained military before in this country, we do have one now. We have one now. Hello?
Yeah. Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning to your listening audience. This is T. Benjamin Myers.
What does T stand for, my friend?
The T stands for Tommy.
Oh, Tommy.
So,
let's hear you.
Hear you. Yes. So, basically, I want to begin by saying that every one of us have endured the consequences of war. It feels like the sting of a vicious bee to which no one has immunity. And so at this crucial point, when we take a sober reflection of what we've gone through, nobody wants war in the country.
Exactly.
And when that situation happened, it created a national panic to an extent that everyone became concerned. I saw the internet posting, and everyone wanted to know what the ultimate end would be. But one thing caught my attention, Clarence. I saw a group of citizens from Foya uniting, irrespective of their differences, on political lines, on religious lines, on social lines, on cultural lines, and they stood for their country.
That's how resilient Liberians have always been.
Maybe they may have overacted to some point, but their collective action was reminiscent of what is written in our national anthem. With hearts and hands, our country's cause defending, will meet the foe with valor unpretending.
Okay.
And at this critical point, I just want to thank them. And I've come to realize that Liberians may disagree internally, but once it comes to any external threat, we're united, we are bounded together, and we will face them. So, I know the AFL may have their way they will handle it, but I just want to thank those Liberians who stood for their country and were able to restore.
Thank you, Ben. Let's get the final call. Thank you. Let's get the final call. MUSSA BILITY is already here. We're taking, so we can't eat the time too much. Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. And I'm in one of your many counties, so I'm in one of them, Grand Baza.
Oh, you're in Baza?
Yeah, I'm in the compound 1 area.
Okay. All right, MUSSA.
And I am Musa Kone. Karen, we want to first and foremost condemn the uncivilized behavior of the Guinean military. What they did is uncivilized. it doesn't speak well for the relationship between Liberia and Guinea. On the other hand, Clarence, if I was president, but now we're fighting war.
We can
I
do
wouldn't.
I say we can't go that far.
No, I will not. No, there are certain things I don't do. Clarence, I'm not strong.
It's so good. You're not even coming around Tanchi Joseph. Be on your cocoa feet.
Okay, you can beat me on broad speech. I will take that one. Or maybe I will run away. If you dare come to my house to where I have my everybody,
no man will take that.
And then you post loud in my ear, I will do that. What Guinea did. No matter how the situation was, they say we don't have the proper information. They say it's because of mining. People were mining on the river. You came with armed men. Two things you could do. You either ask the authority how the people got there. Two, you seize their equipment, and the Liberian government will actually intervene to explain to you what it is. But to just leave all of that.
Was the money taking place on the Guinean side of the place?
Let even agree, yes, it took, it was happening on the Guinea side. Let agree, let forget about what I want in Liberian side. Let agree it happened on that side, Clarence. It's just not right. The people that were money there are civilian. You get all right to subdue them, seize their equipment. But Clarence, lastly, let me say this. While it is true that the young people of Foya stood and defend Liberia, we are putting them at risk. More especially government officials. I see them celebrating those people. They should not be celebrating. The government should be ashamed that they don't have a single armed person at the border. Our country was invaded, and it was only the ordinary civilians are there. And then you are hearing them. You putting them into harm's way. Yesterday they were shooting. Who did they shoot?
Thank you, Musa. I wish I was working tomorrow. That was going to be my second perspective. I was going to look at the involvement of the young people. I was going to be looking at patriotism versus risk and all these things. But unfortunately, I didn't want to bother myself with everything today. Maybe Julius will pick up from where I stopped. But it's a complex situation. But I can, as a Liberian, and as a student of diplomacy myself, I know this matter will be resolved because it takes diplomacy, it takes talking, it takes dialogue, it takes negotiation, to settle these kinds of situations. Like I said, these things are not settled with flexing muscles, and I insist that we have one of the best and most educated trained military in this region. We do. They graduated from some of the best military schools in the world. Nobody should tell you that these people don't have this thing in their war room or whatever. Nobody should tell you that they're not studying it. They do not know the next course of action and all these things. Then they will lie to you. The military is on top of these things. But military intervention and response for me is not a way forward. Musa BILITY is our guest. He's here. The bridge man. They say that how they call the man now. They call him the bridge man. So whenever he goes to any country, the people say, they say, Musa BILITY come here. What would they say all over bridge? I mean a bridge. They make him peel the bridge. Representative BILITY, I'd like to say good morning. Thank you for always accepting our invitation. How's the Ramadan going?
It's not easy. It's other one.
I see it from your face.
Yeah.
It will soon be over. You got less than 10 days now.
Yeah. Next Thursday.
You've gone through more tough Ramadans. Yeah, you will survive this one.
This one is tough.
I know. Yeah. How is everything? How is life?
It's okay. We are taking it in stride. We thank God, and we thank God for our country and our unity.
How is your district?
The district is okay, as usual. I was there last week. This week, a friend of mine, a legislative friend, a colleague of mine, invited me on a private visit to Sano, so I'll be going there. So I'm not going to Nimba County this weekend.
Okay. Your regular letter from Saklipi a day ago, you said, a moment that reminds us of who we are.
Yes.
Today at the Guinean Liberian Bolo in Lofa County, something deeply emotional happened among our people. There was an altercation, a misunderstanding between some Liberians and members of the Guinean security forces. Such disagreements, BILITY said, happen in every society, and we trust that the government of Liberia, through dialogue and consultation, will resolve the matter fairly and peacefully. But what happiness is what truly touched my heart. In a moment where fear and uncertainty could have divided us, Liberians did something extraordinary. For the love of Liberia and for fear that even an inch of our land could be lost, our people moved swiftly. They stood together and raised the Liberian flag high, and then together they sang the Liberian national anthem. That moment was powerful, BILITY thinks. It was not about triumph, it was not about background, it was not even about disagreement, it was about the country. In that single heroic moment, Liberians remained or reminded the world of something profound. Beneath all of our arguments, frustration, and differences, there remains a deep and unshakable love for Liberia. Moments like these reveal the true spirit of our people. They remind us that a foundation for a new Liberia already exists inside the hearts of Liberians themselves. When our national pride is awakened, we stand together. When our country is threatened, we unite. When the flag rises, we remember that we are one people. History will remember this moment, and we must remember the lesson it teaches us. The Liberia we want to build will not come from division. It will come from our same spirit. We saw a spirit of unity, pride, and love for our nation. Let us hold on to that feeling, because that feeling is the Liberia we must trust. Two things you said: the resilience, the patriotism of the young people, and secondly, that in the midst of everything, our government will get involved and it will be resolved. Why can't we translate, BILITY, that kind of national spirit will carry, whether it was the fight against coronavirus or Ebola, and from what we saw in Foya to the national politics of the country?
I think it's a leadership deficit. When I say leadership deficit, we all carry that burden. For me, as a country, or as a people, we have to learn. I sometimes understand that it comes, I get criticized, that's fine. But we have to learn that in moments like this, we have to stand with our country. When it comes to politics, it's a little more difficult. But when we transition to that, when we begin to see politics as a matter of policy, not as a matter of tribe or geography or religion, our country will be okay. But we have to preach it. We have to continue to say what we believe in. And more importantly, to practice it. That's why, Clarence, for us at the CMC, in times like this, or even in the heat of our politics, CMC will never do a politics that disregard right or good attitude, even if it is from opposition or it's from government. Because that little step is what you take. And we hope that the government, for instance, can reciprocate that. We hope that individuals can reciprocate that in the communities, where when someone is sick, it comes from there. We'll say, oh, this person that you don't take the person. When the person is sick, let all of us go and take care of that person. When a CDC person passes away, irrespective of the fact that, for instance, when Solomon George passed, may his soul rest in peace, sometimes, unfortunately, something comes out of us that is disgusting. And I know it's tough, but we must come together. Whether it's Unity Party that he was lately affiliating with, or a CDC that his entire political life has been associated with, they both should come together and provide consolation to the family, provide some level of comfort to his loved ones, and that changes our politics. It's tough, but when we the leaders do it, it begins to help. But it's a tall order. But for us, we intend to keep that pace.
I know. You are no longer chair on security, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I know at some point you were chair on security. I wanted to ask you some very deep questions, but let's go on now. Let's talk about. There are a lot of things. Did I hear that you sponsor or submitted some bills?
Yes.
About 4.
Yes.
Can we discuss it one at a time?
Yes. Very briefly, we propose a bill to allow Liberians outside of Liberia the opportunity as required by our constitution. It's not a new thing. It is a constitutional requirement.
What's it relying?
It's there. I'll send it to you.
Let me see. Okay. But yeah, go ahead. We'll get it. Go ahead.
It's as a constitutional requirement to ensure that Liberians' absentee vote must be respected. It was in our election law first. The new election law, it was removed from there. It is not fair. They are Liberian, and our constitution says they must have the right to vote. So we propose
You mean Liberians outside Liberia?
Yes.
Okay.
The constitution of Liberia says they should have the right to vote.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the election commission does not.
You want us to pull out that article?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let
article.
me. I sent it to you, right?
Well, I don't see it, but just if you can remember the article, let's pull it out. And we can read as we move on. Okay, but let's go to the second.
Yeah, but it's important.
It's very important because I wanted to see.
I have it here. Absentee ballot. I will give you the article.
The provision, yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
We could go on to the second one once you get that.
Let me just run over it so that I can get it from the phone and give it to you.
No worries.
And the second one is a bill to also they call it anti-defection bill.
Anti-defection bill.
As required by the Constitution, the parties go to election with a platform. If you are elected on the platform of that party, it means that the Liberian people voted for you because that party has a certain standard. The Constitution gives you the right to run as independent. So if you choose not to run as independent, then you forfeit your right as independent. When you join a party and that party advocate.
BILITY, go over that again. Very important. Go over that again.
We call it anti-defection bill.
The anti-defection bill.
Yes. When you're
running for office.
When you're running for office, Clarence, let's say Unity Party. Unity Party has a mantra, they have a manifesto, and they campaign, and you campaign on that. And the Liberian people vote for the Unity Party manifesto, and through that elect you as
a representative or a senator.
When you decide to say, I no longer want to associate with the Unity Party, then it means that the reason, the rationale, and the rationale for which you were elected by the people, you have deviated from that. Therefore, that seat that you occupy must be
automatically vacant.
No, it's not automatic. There are a lot of processes.
Okay.
Or if the party, so if you resign from Unity Party, election commission will be forced to declare your seat vacant. No plenty talk. If you go in the parliament and the party advocated for a certain policies and you reach there, then you begin to disregard the party and vote the other way. Defection. Because our people, Clarence, vote in a certain way. They voted in 2023 to make Joseph Boakai president. But they did not vote to give Unity Party, for instance, the pro temp or the
The speakership.
The speakership. Because the number of representatives the United Party has, including their alliance, is 15. Under a system like this, United Party will not be
the speaker.
The speaker. The speaker will come from other party, or except United Party can be able to governize the political party, not the individual. So this is meant to institutionalize our politics and make it institutional. So we propose the bill to say,
why if you went to the House as an independent candidate?
That's your right. Then therefore, you told the Liberian people you are independent, you make your own decision.
Okay.
And therefore,
so the bill will have no banning effect on you. Okay.
If the party expels you, then you have legal recourse, because election commission must make sure the party went through the same process. And even if the election commission says it was okay, then you have the right to appeal to the Supreme Court. And until the Supreme Court can decide, your removal from the House will not be effective until they do.
Are we not going to be tampering with people's freedom of association as provided for by the Constitution?
Well,
I have the right to associate with the Unity Party. I win the election. Probably while I wanted, I no longer see this, so I disassociate. If that kind of law, is it not coming in conflict?
But that's not what the law says. The law says if you vote for the Unity Party, it didn't say when the Unity Party changes, because that's a different dimension.
No, at that point, MUSSA, I can determine that, well, the ideology of the party that I voted for, upon which they elected me, I no longer see it. So I'm leaving. It is a self-decisional. And I am protected by the Constitution as far as association is concerned.
That's exactly why political parties have never been built as an institution in Liberia.
Okay.
That's the reason why we have not been able to create a strong opposition in Liberia or a strong ruling party in Liberia.
Let's go to your third bill.
The third bill is the creation of a credit bureau. You know, that's a financial
of a credit bureau.
Yeah, that's a financial bill. So in Liberia, the various banks characterize everyone. When the credit portfolio of the country goes by, the blame goes to everyone, including the good customers. This credit bureau will be created to protect the banks and their investment. Meaning, if Clarence goes to EcoBank and borrows $5,000 and he doesn't pay, if he goes to GT Bank to go borrow,
they will not get money.
The credit bureau will be flashing, because the other bank must go to the credit bureau to make sure that
everybody monitors that credit bureau.
Yes. So if you have bad credit one place, you are not allowed to credit anywhere.
You fail in school 10th grade, you go take it.
It works everywhere. It has worked in most African countries. It is the basis for the development of the American financial system. It protects investment. It encourages people to fight to make sure that their credit remains.
I think that's reasonable.
Yes. And then the second bill, when you establish, the next bill, when you establish that credit bureau now, then we'll go to something we call deposit and loan ratio. Deposit and loan ratio means the bank will be compared, because there are a lot of deposit in the bank, but they're not giving it as a loan now. It's stuck in the bank simply because of the bad credit system. So when you fix the credit system, then it means if Clarence borrowed $5,000 from IB Bank and that $5,000 is doing well, he's paying on time, he has the capacity to go to LBDR to borrow. So the bank must not keep the money in the bank. They should spur and we borrowed this from Ghana, Nigeria, Rwanda, South Africa, and Kenya, where they introduced this law and economic activity increased. We are keeping millions and millions of dollars in the bank, and the banks are sitting now over it. They are justifying their action to say the market is risky. Therefore, good customers that could have access to much more money are being denied because of bad customer. Credit bureau will distinguish between the two people and at the same time give access and reward to good customers who are doing very well, paying their debt on time, and etc. etc. So these are the
Have you done the first reading on the floor?
Yes.
All the bills?
Yes. We've done the first reading. It has been sent to committee. We have some more bills coming, 2 more bills, which we
But I am sure at the Central Bank of Liberia there is something they call the credit reference regime that combines the records of these different banks.
It is no longer functional. If it were functional, you know what we're going to do? And I want the banks to come. I want everybody to come. That system has collapsed.
You think so?
I know so. Not that I think so. I know that it has collapsed.
Okay.
You know, that system has collapsed, and where we are right now, it is not working. Tomorrow, Clarence, we are also introducing some bills, two other bills. The first one is an act to establish the procedure for the conduct of impeachment proceeding in accordance with the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia.
Conduct of impeachment proceedings?
Yes. Since our Constitution came into being, we have refused to put procedure in place.
For impeachment?
For impeachment. Therefore, like, you see how Justice General was removed illegally? Because the Constitution requires, and I think I sent that to you, or I haven't sent that to you. The Constitution requires that as a matter of law, the legislature must do this. But since we came as a country, we have refused to do it. And it's not okay. The second act, which is another one, an act to establish an independent electoral tribunal of Liberia.
Independent electoral tribunal?
Yes. Clarence, election commission carries out election. It does you wrong, and then you got to come complain to it. And it must rule against itself or defend itself and be a judge and an actor. That is totally wrong.
Independent electoral...
Yes. So what we're doing here in this act, which we'll introduce tomorrow, on Tuesday, we are establishing a court, a panel of judges, of 5 judges.
A separate court to look into electoral disputes.
Yes, only.
Void of the Elections Commission.
Void of the... So when you go to election, it covers qualification. For instance, if you are not qualified, if you are qualified, election commission qualifies you, and Clarence not certified with MUSSA BILITY qualification, you go to this court. If the election commission denies you to say you are not qualified, you go to this court. From that court, you go straight to the Supreme Court. And it got time that they must deal with. Each of them have 30 days or a certain period of time to deal with it. That is justice. And it frees the election commission hand to do its work. But you can't conduct election and at the same time conduct the dispute that arises from your action. For far too long, we have ignored this. And now we're doing this so that from that court, you go straight to the Supreme Court. Now, there will be 5 judges that we are proposing. 2 of them will be appointed by the Supreme Court. 2 will be appointed by the President. And 1 will be appointed by the Liberian Bar Association, the National Bar Association. So those 5 judges will serve 1 election cycle, and they can be reappointed. So, which means 6 years or whatever you want to call it, and then it can be reappointed. So at the end of the day, these are important bills that we are introducing to strengthen our democracy, to make sure that we move our country forward. And for me, the democracy right now, we have to work very hard to strengthen it before it gets out.
Okay, I will ask you questions, but I want us to just go. Let's go to this proposed act by, I think, It's add us or an amendment to the act creating the LPRC. Senator Dillon did something on the LPRC. I think the Senate has had its first, and I'm sure, public hearing on the bill. What do you know about that bill, BILITY?
Clarence, I heard Senator Dillon on this network. Until then, I have nothing to do with it. And then it interests me because another bill, again for LPRC, show up at the House of Representatives, which obviously was being processed in the way that it was not transparent because major stakeholders in the industry were not informed, and I just bumped into it because I was sitting there in session. They were having committee meeting. Listen to this. And while session was going on. So we didn't know. Now, this bill by Senator Dillon, I have two impressions about it. Either Senator Dillon did not read this bill properly, or this bill represents his worst legislative action. What this bill seeks to do in...
Do you have the draft law, the draft amendment to the bill?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, please, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
So, I'm sending it to you right now. What it does, what LPRC tried to do over 45 years ago and failed, is what this bill is trying to do, Clarence. Monopolize the petroleum industry. But listen to this. Today, Liberians, the entire business industry in Liberia, the petroleum industry is the only industry that Liberians have taken full charge of. 5 Liberians, I think 1 in the southeast, 4 stations right here in Monrovia, have all constructed terminals or are constructing terminals, invested millions and millions of dollars in it, and Senator Dillon introduces a bill that literally says that LPRC should cancel those rights and that it should not give LPRC the power to remove those private entities. But interestingly, very interestingly, it grants concessions the right to build their own tank, which is never done anywhere in the world.
Is that what the bill seeks to do?
Yes.
I wish I could have the... Because
Clarence,
one other
time
we spoke to Senator Dillon, and he was talking about devolving. He was talking about taking away some of the functions.
That's what I said. He probably did not read.
He was talking about taking away some of the function because he was concerned LPRC can be the referee, they be the player. So we will try to... Let me see. You just send it to me manually, like you were sending me a WhatsApp message.
I send it to you right now by WhatsApp.
No, but I'm saying when you send it in, I'm finding it difficult to pull it out. So you could just send it to me manually, like you're sending me a regular. I want to know what does the bill.
I did that. I don't know why.
You sure?
I sent it in Word. You don't have Word on your phone.
Okay, let me see. Let's be talking. I'm trying to do the
macro. Do it again.
Yeah. Because I want to read a little bit.
Check it again.
I want to read a little bit on the bill.
I want to show you
Go ahead.
The thing the law seek to do.
Yeah, you said I'm trying to open up. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a memo on it, and it takes LPRC clearance, give them all of the rights, make them a player, make them the referee, make them the judge, make them the jury, and literally disregard any contract that
you mean the bill seeks to add up to the authority LPRC already have got?
Yes.
But Senator Dillon did not sound like that when I think he was on my show or on Julius' show.
I listened to him.
Yeah, because...
And then I read...
That is the reason why I'm still confused, because he was talking about, proposing or taking away some of the functions and allowing other institutions to play some roles.
Under the act, if you go to the role of LPRC, it say the LPRC will give they got a transitional provision, they got the establishment of LPRC. It's under section 4.1 of the act, which I sent to you. You got it already, right?
Go ahead. I'm just
the Liberian Petroleum Refining Company shall have perpetual succession and common seal. Okay, be capable of this, acquiring, holding, have the power to enter into contracts. The LPRC shall have its principle, the objective. I mean, it is so ugly. Basically, give the right to LPRC to take over and specifically say that it should not allow any terminal to operate. I'm
really?
Yeah. And what happened is that under section 5.2 1, the Liberian Petroleum Refining Company shall have the sole and exclusive regulator, importer, storer of petroleum product, and shall be the licensor, wholesaler, distributor of all petroleum related products, and shall have the right to choose or designate person. I mean, it just went on.
Is it different from what we have at the moment?
We don't.
Is the amendment different from what the existing law?
Yes. So what the amendment, basically, what this law is intended for, and I've seen the intention, is to literally illegalize what LPRC has already done. Take Liberians out of the business. But most interestingly, allow concessions that are here to do something else and give them right to do petroleum business, which take out the petroleum industry and destroy their market and give it to concessions. And I sat by myself, I said, I know Dillon, right? But did he really go through this? Did he really have an appreciation of this law? And I'm struggling, and I'm struggling to appreciate that he
is still at the Senate.
Yeah, he's still at the Senate, and I'm struggling to appreciate that he did this. But again, me and Dillon have a good speaking relationship. The fact that he didn't call me, that makes me to believe that he did it, because we would have given him good advice. What is the intent of? There is nowhere in the world today where government had monopolized petroleum. Why do you go? Liberia did this. Clarence, listen. Liberia did this in 1984, 1986. It never worked. It never even took off. They used it for like a year or two, and it collapsed. And then the war came, and for 40 years now, it has not been able to be materialized. How do you come at this time to reintroduce that kind of extreme power? What capacity? I mean, and also, Dillon, he may not be a law student, but he has good knowledge of the law. And the Constitution is against retroactivity. So you pass a law that you know is illegal.
It's not passed yet anyway.
Yeah, no, that you want to pass a law that you know is illegal, because you are basically telling LPRC to disregard agreement that it has signed.
Let me see. Can okay? No, you're doing your live, right?
I'm not live.
I want to see some of the provisions in the law, so I read few.
Oh, you up to now you still have not been.
Yeah, I still have not been able to.
It's scary.
It says, is this the function? Wow. Okay, let me see.
You go to the function of LPRC. That's where you will
Chapter
find.
5, mandate and functions. 5.1, the general mandate of the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company shall be as follows. Shall now is bounding. One,
Yeah.
the regulation of the importation of all refined petroleum and petroleum-related products for the Liberian domestic market for internal use within the Republic of Liberia and storage of commercial petroleum products for the commerce of Liberia shall be the sole and exclusive right of LPRC, and that no entity, individual, concessionaires, public or private corporation, nor any governmental entity, foreign or otherwise, shall import or engage in the storage of petroleum products into the territorial confines of the Republic of Liberia, except with the written consent and licensing of the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company. But isn't this something that they're already doing, but Dillon is trying to ensure that it is now by law?
Okay, that's the problem. What happened to what LPRC has already done?
In what context?
The right that LPRC has is the right that they have under the law. And they have given that right to people who, already have things. You bring another law that says going forward, nobody will be allowed to bring fuel, nobody will be allowed to sell, nobody will be allowed to do anything unless LPRC agrees with you. But LPRC has already agreed with you. How do you understand my point? LPRC has given right to 5-6 companies to build tanks. It has given right to more than 20 companies to import fuel. But then all of a sudden you come with a law that basically say, okay, even though we gave you the right to build tank, now we have a new law. That right, you have to come for new. Are you kidding me? What happened to the law of retroactivity under our constitution? What happened to the law that says, and this is where I'm disappointed, because they don't know the legal framing. You could have said, without prejudice to all previous agreement.
Yeah, but the law is still being discussed. It is not being passed yet. And in fact, BILITY, the good thing is that even if the Senate were to pass the law, it will come to you for concurrence. And you will have your input. You
asked me for my view.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't talk about it.
I know.
But
That's what I'm asking you. Yeah.
You asked me for my view.
But it is. Are you also aware that you will reserve the right to have an input when a law comes before you? These are the
and that's another thing. These things that they do. What is the rationale?
Okay,
what is the rationale? Liberia Petroleum Refinery announced a year ago that they were bringing petroleum, and then so they brought 1 or 2 shipments. That's it.
Okay, we'll hold you there. LPRC Managing Director Amos Stewart is calling me. Let me take him. Let's hear his perspective. Then we'll move on. I sent message to Senator Dillon. I'm asking him whether he wants to make a comment. He hasn't responded. If he did, I will pull him on to Mr. Amos Stewart, Managing Director. Go ahead. You got any other information contrary to BILITY's opinion?
Well, so good morning. Let me say good morning to Mr. BILITY and our people. I just wanted to provide a bit of clarification because I see that Mr. BILITY is attempting to twist the objective or the intent of Senator Abraham Darius Dillon. The objective of Senator Dillon is that, one, where LPRC is operating on 2 instruments at the moment. One, the Article of Incorporation, 1978, and of course the 89 Act that granted LPRC the exclusive right to import, store, distribute, and so on, commercialize petroleum products. So insofar as the 2 instruments are concerned, LPRC has not been created by an act of the legislature. Senator Dillon's attempt is seeking to ensure that LPRC is created, is a statutory body of the government of Liberia.
That's the core objective of Senator Abraham Darius DeLong, for which that act was submitted. Now, on the question of the functions, the different roles or mandate of LPRC on importing, storing, distributing, and commercializing petroleum products, there are concerns, and it's important to indicate here that there is no country the world over that you will not have, a reference national institution that is going to be responsible for a particular sector, for a particular thing. What Mr. BILITY is advocating, is seeking to do, is that when it comes to importation, it should be left exclusively to private players, which is not the case in other countries. So you cannot leave importation exclusive. For example, in this crisis, in this situation, while we agree that the products in country, a number of them belong to private players, had not been LPRC stepping into the importation market, let me say to you here that prices of petroleum products will have gone way up in the sky by this time. Way up in the sky by this time. So you need a national institution that will ensure some control measures, that will ensure that when pricing are decided, they are decided fairly, transparently, and in the interest of the citizens of Liberia.
Okay, Mr. Tua, let me just ask you before you move forward. Let me just ask you now, and that was also my concern. I was saying to BILITY that probably there are things that LPRC is doing, and DeLong wants to ensure those things are done by law. But what BILITY is concerned about retroactivity. Now, what will happen to the existing conditions, to the existing agreements and all these things?
And agreements,
yeah,
they are not going to be invalidated.
Okay.
They are not going to be invalidated. The law will require, there's a provision in the law that will specifically indicate that prior to the coming into force of this law, all contracts and agreements that were entered into by LPRC still remain valid. So, for example, if LPRC has any problem with any of the agreements in the past, we can seek recourse to the law. But we can use this opportunity because Senator DeLong is going to now ensure, working along with his colleagues in the entire legislature to create LPRC by an act of the legislature. Then we use this opportunity and say all other agreements that were signed in the past, they are considered null and void. No.
Okay,
the law of retroactivity, or whatever the lawyers will call it, cannot play in this particular case. So that the trumpet or the false alarm Mr. BILITY is blowing, I just want him to calm down. That do not worry.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
No, you can't ask a man. You can't ask a man.
I want to ask the MD a question.
You can express a concern. I'm asking a question here. I'm asking a question.
Clarence, I want to ask a question. MD, can you allow me to ask a question?
Express your concern. What is your concern?
Under the act, the act creates a company called the regulatory arm. They call it the Liberian Petroleum Commission. Under the act,
so it's going to be different from the LPRC.
Yes, and then it says, and I'm reading it here.
Those are some of the thoughts from one or two senators' suggestions.
No, Clarence, give me a chance. Amos, okay, I asked my question. Let you allow me to ask. This is part of the confusion in the bill. There are two entities that have been created with the same authority.
No entity will be created.
But here it says,
entity will come before you. Like I said.
I'm not speaking here as a lawmaker.
Okay.
I'm not speaking as I'm just saying the Liberian Petroleum Commission. It says issue their role now. This commission created by this act. It says their role will be issue a license for importation and or acquisition of petroleum and petroleum products. Issue a license for operation of oil refineries. Issue of the setting of prices, regulation. That is C act that the C law give to LPRC.
Okay, thank you. Amos, we gotta leave you.
That is confusing. Please,
I want to take George Wisner. Yeah, go ahead. I want to take George Wisner.
Let me clarify that point. And the clarification here is that act Mr. BILITY submitted to you is a draft act. It is still in its draft form. It's not finalized.
This is not the one currently before the Senate?
No. No, so the one before the Senate is being worked on.
Okay.
Couple of things have changed.
My man, I'm privileged.
Couple of
You're
things
not a lawmaker. I'm
they have been
privileged.
changed because based on what the realities is going to be.
Okay, Toy.
We know LPRC has this role to play. There are suggestions that after the unbundling of LPRC, after a couple of years, then, for example, if oil is discovered in commercial quantity, you have to establish a regulatory institution for the downstream.
Okay, Emma, let me let you. Yeah, go ahead. Conclude quickly.
The regulatory part of LPRC, after a couple of years, it will have to be sent to another institution that will be created.
Okay, let's hold you there.
The institution is going to be created right away.
Let's hold you there. Thank you so much. Let me join a public policy specialist. George, I can take you 2-3 minutes. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much. Hearing you said 2-3 minutes, and you raised a lot of governance and policy issues with Mr. BILITY.
Yeah.
It's not just the LPRC that I'm interested in. That one they will handle it. The only question for public policy and governance that I had with the LPRC thing was an issue raised by the managing director sometime just on your show to justify why LPRC should commercialize. I mean, from a governance standpoint and a public policy standpoint, I don't think it is efficient or effective for government to get involved in what the private sector should be doing. Government is government. The market should be allowed to run and operate. The instance that Mr. Tue raised, yes, it sounds logical that if LPRC was not involved, probably the price of fuel will go up. But in other jurisdictions that have done that, the government reserves the right to purchase from the private sector and have reserves so that in the time of emergency, the government can release those reserves to ensure that there is stability. The role of government should be to regulate the market, but not to...
Let's go to your other point. I will find time to bring Senator Darius along because I also want to know the role of the Liberia Pet. There is an agency called the Liberia, the LERC. Go ahead, George. Senator DeLong is calling. I will take him. Yeah, George, go ahead.
The other issue that Mr. BILITY raised, and I had some question of public policy and governance, is the issue that he raised about absentee voting. It may seem good, yeah. The legislature, I think it was under Madam Salif, also President Weah, that passed the Dual Citizenship Act. That automatically gives Liberians with dual citizenship some rights. But looking from other jurisdictions, Mr. BILITY, it immediately raises two issues. First, besides the logistical issue that it raises, take, for example, the United States of America. Those outside of the United States of America that vote are people who, from the inception of birth, are already recorded in the American system. And these people somehow, directly or indirectly, contribute through taxation to the American process. The reason why the issue of absenteeism voter come in is the question, the public policy question of taxation without representation. That the citizens of a particular country have obligation to that country. And if the citizen is meeting those obligations to that country and to enjoy certain rights and privileges, why deny them? So I think that bill will benefit if it is expanded. Then the last one, please.
Yeah, please, quickly. Yeah, I beg you.
And Mr. BILITY, after this, we can have a conversation. I will be willing to do pro bono public policy advice on it.
Absolutely.
The other one that he raised is the issue of political defection. I want to believe what Mr. BILITY is trying to do, and which is fine, is to ensure that the public, and this is the question for public policy, the problem for public policy, that when people come to vote, or vote is not just of people that you cast. Or vote is actually your values, your principles, your choice based on a particular policy or that you believe. So if a political party is elected, whether senator or representative, the people vote based, the assumption is that they vote based on that party's
So when you come, you shouldn't defect.
Now, if you come, I think that law will hold so that it does not contradict another provision of the Constitution that has to do with freedom of association and freedom of free speech.
Thank you.
If that law only restricts that if you defect from the political party, meaning you are no longer part of the political party, but you join another political party, maybe the party in power,
You will forfeit your seat.
automatically forfeit your seat because you were elected on the basis
Josh,
of the
you.
political party.
I will have you here. I will have you here sometimes next week.
Thank you,
on a public policy and governance note. Let me take Senator Abraham Darius DeLong. Senator DeLong is calling me back to back. I will take you, and then before we go to the line, because this is a debate. This is a discussion of public interest. Sam Jackson will come 9:05, 9:10. We'll take him. This is the OK Morning Rush. Senator DeLong, I'm trying to reach out to you right now.
Driver, you are calling.
Senator DeLong, you can please just call me back. Senator DeLong, no, I'm calling. They want to say busy. I'm calling. BILITY. Senator DeLong, you can call me. Let me attempt to call him again. Please, let's hear from him because he is the progenitor.
Okay. I mean,
Orange informs you that the subscriber you are calling is busy.
Senator DeLong, you can please call me. Yeah, go ahead.
Is that if I was saying the bill, it takes into consideration all of that.
Well, a minute, calling. Let me take Erin Snow, Senator Snow. Then I will take Senator DeLong. Senator Snow, let's hear you.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm listening to you and my good friend in the studio this morning, Mr. BILITY. And I just need to let my friend know that the bill before the Senate as with coming from Senator Darius DeLong as a proponent, a lot has changed in that bill. We've had a public hearing, and I disagree with him. It's strange.
You disagree with who in this case?
With Mr. BILITY. Mr. BILITY. The bill is not. I think what he has, what the document he's using, I think is a wrong document because. If the House of Representatives is having a hearing on this bill, the Senate has no control over the House of Representatives document. But what we have before us in the Senate, we've done a lot of work on it, and we've had a public hearing on it, and it's a very strong bill.
Don't mind it, man. He just want to know what you got.
No, what I give you is the Senate version, but I sent it to the man.
Okay, Senator Snow, the man said he sent it to you. You the call. Why you made the man talking like that?
Yeah.
No, I called up this morning. I saw a document from him, but I had to go to.
Okay, let me take your colleague. Let me take Senator DeLong. Thank you, Senator Erin Snow. Senator DeLong, you are live. Let's hear you. Senator Snow argues that what BILITY have in his hand is not what is before the Senate. Chief, what's your take? Don't make plow with the man. I beg you, BILITY. Let me protect Let me protect Senator DeLong, please. BILITY, I apply BILITY. Senator DeLong, go ahead.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning. Good morning, Senator.
Honorable Representative, all-powerful political leader, MUSSA BILITY, good morning. If MUSSA was not a lawmaker, I was going to speak more to the bill. Thankfully, Senator Snow has spoken briefly to give some clarity. Two things quickly. I support the bill Representative BILITY put on the floor regarding crossing over from political parties and losing seats. Okay. Except that the same way MUSSA BILITY and the legislature cannot find the courage for us to pass a law in keeping with Article 36 to fix our salary and suggesting $5,000. The same way we can't have that courage in majority to fix our salary at $5,000 in keeping with Article 36 of the Constitution, that's the same way there will be no courage in our legislature, of which I'm a member.
To pass it on.
MUSSA BILITY law. Yeah. Because, look, referee can't get his red card. It's not easy. Referee will not get his red card.
Country. DeLong?
So the courage.
No, but DeLong argument is it's a good law, but what are y'all will muster the courage to say, let's take it one for ourselves?
Because who that law will affect, but it will strengthen political parties. It will make lawmakers elected on political. If you are elected independent party, you want Johnson at your business. But if you are elected on political party ticket, and that party expels you on good cause with due process, you should lose your seat in the
legislature. But Senator DeLong, don't you think lawmakers of good mind can mobilize the number?
Chief, that bill, Jerry Zimmer, they bill to fix our salary. You asking referee to get his head
And you're
right.
almost looking at the provision to get lawmaker out. They say you must raise signature, but you must carry it to the legislature.
You know why I believe otherwise?
Let Dylan just learn.
Yeah, please listen.
Yeah,
I will make proposals, amendment to MUSSA's bill that when your party expel you in keeping with due process on good grounds, you lose, there's a vacancy in that house, you lose your seat, and the party fills that vacancy. When you are expelled, when you on your own leave your party on whose ticket you were elected, there should be vacancy. The party should be able to replace you.
Senator Dillon, I think you got to come here next week. You like expand on this thing.
I agree with that bill, but you see, Musa bill, he will just talk about it for years. Just have to talk about my salary bill.
Yeah, that salary bill, your men can add an NCO.
They can add an NCA. You know, let me tell you something. In order to strengthen the country here, once we start what I was saying, the minister then will confirm, the judiciary will confirm, the executive will confirm. Once we don't have courage to do certain things beginning with ourselves, we will only be talking about it.
Okay, Senator. Thank you.
On the LPRC issue, I will not respond much to my colleague Musa Bility. He has one document he running around with, but he's not in the studio as a lawmaker, because as a lawmaker he has all the power.
Man as a businessman, don't mind.
Yeah, as a businessman, the same way you were crying, say he alone was being targeted on storage fee. The same way
crying
he
now.
was in the studio the morning crying.
No problem. I will deal with you at another time.
The draft of the law said LPRC will let
okay, Senator. The man say he know how to grab you. The man say he know how to grab you.
The man coming to my office
just say
I will deal with you.
He coming to my office right now, still around my.
Yeah. Musa, let's hear you. No, at this point, I think we got to take. Yeah, go ahead 1 minute. Then
you
we'll
know,
take some calls.
I agree with Senator Dillon, and that will strengthen the bill. And I want to let Senator Dillon know that I have tried.
You've tried?
And
on the 5,000
to the lawmaker, yes.
But you think I meant
to say to them, let's reduce our salaries, and every time I will keep trying, but we are coming towards election. Let's pass the political party act that will give the political party strength to force lawmakers to sign on to certain things like the salary reduction bill.
Okay.
Because the moment you sign the defection bill, everybody in that house will come to themselves.
They will come to themselves.
And then the party will start instructing them what to do.
0777-700-995, We're taking few calls, then we'll go back to Representative MUSSA Bility and conclude, because Sam Jackson comes in very shortly. Hello?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
This is Joseph Bona, and I'm from Jalasa.
Yeah, Bona.
Yeah, Mr. Jackson? You know, sometimes when I hear Mr. Bility on the radio, sometimes I get emotional. Reason being, I was a former employee of Ecofuel, Latimina like Ronnie, who was one of the employee. Really, because of the loss I was dropped in 2019, that Latimina hijacked, the people went to court, they were paying for hours until the people got frustrated and left the country. Well, one of the young people were trained by.
How you may have lost a job? How?
But he had the place.
When you say hijack, what do you mean? They play what for somebody?
The terminal was constructed by.
And the president didn't go to court? They allowed the man to do that?
Come again?
The president didn't go to court, the owner?
They want to court, and then they'll drive me around for more than a year. No, until they want to equal the one because I got the one in there.
Okay, Chief. I wish I knew more about that. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir?
Good morning, Clarence, and good morning to your studio guests. My name is Emmanuel Talo.
Yeah,
and I call you along the Riverfield Highway. So specifically, I want to speak to the deflection bill from honorability. I think that bill won't go anywhere because that bill alone contradicts the Constitution. I talk about people being free to associate and disassociate at the same time. But besides that, how can a political party...
But you think it's a good bill?
No, I do not think so. I think it's a bad bill.
Okay.
Because how can over 45,000 person live in a district and a representative win with over 10,000, 15,000 votes? and then you say few executive members of a political party expel such person, and the 45,000 people.
No, they say
Congress,
expulsion in keeping with due process.
Yeah,
It means your party, you did
you
something.
can appeal
The
it.
party investigate you, and you are wrong, and the party expels you.
But Clarence, this is the thing. No one lawmaker get elected by their party. People get elected by their constituents, member of their constituents. So you go vote, you go campaign to your people, and they see the need to elect you as their representative. How can a political party, 10-member executive committee member of a political party subjecting you to investigation, expelling you, and then forfeiting the trust that over 10,000 presidents of a constituent have entrusted into you?
Okay, thank you, brother. Hello. Do we have you here? We do. Good morning.
Good morning, Clarence Jackson, and good morning. Assalamu alaikum to the studio guests and my Muslim brothers and sisters that are serving the holy month of Ramadan. My name is Prince P. Wilson. I call you Electoral District number 10.
Yeah, Wilson.
To my brother and our honorable, I think what you have done is extremely well. I support you on to bill that you discuss. And I think our meeting in your office after the holy month of Ramadan as an advocate to join you in the process of the bill that have to do with the legislators. Similar bill, our school in Sierra Leone, similar bill also the of law in Sierra Leone. Like what Senator Dillon said, it's very in line as relating to when you have been voted by that political party institution that carry you and put for you. The law and constitution of that political institution is also a copy like at the election commission that when you are in violation and what clause constitutes you being explored.
Okay, Chief. Let's go here. Hello. Let's talk to just one or two more men. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, Clarence?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Cooper Frederick here calling.
Yeah, Mr. Minister, let's hear you.
So, following the discussion about the bill being proper.
Deputy General Minister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I would just pick up from where the second to the last caller left. This bill, I think, it contravenes the intent of the Constitution that gave everybody that free will. And more, what it does, the power that is given to the people that elect their own representatives, it usurp that power and abrogate that power onto few political individuals from, political institutions to make decision that will not benefit.
No, but you're only discussing the BILITY's proposal one side. The other side about the proposal was that even if you the lawmaker, nobody investigate you, but you voluntarily you also leave from your party, you should bear the consequence. You're not just focusing on people should get you out.
Clarence, let me conclude my thought.
Yeah.
The reason why the likes of BILITY and others, I proposing such a bill because today he has the CMC that tomorrow, like he done in time past, purchase vehicle for the Liberty Party, and at a certain point in time, if there are conflict, he goes back and get a car. So that's the same kind of ideology he's trying to proffer tomorrow. If people are elected on his CMC, ticket, and they differ within, in opinion, and he thinks and feel that he is the political leader of that party, he can, form people to go against a particular lawmaker from that party and ensure that, he's booted out
But
of...
I don't think such bill is going to be a CNC bill. I think it's going to be a bill that will affect our political system, all parties.
I don't see it contravenes the Constitution and like the second to the last quarter indicator.
Okay. All right, Minister. Thank you. BILITY. Let's come to you. Multi-dimensional view.
Yes.
Good for our democracy.
Good. So let me say this. Individual, and I'm going in line. Individuals who feel that they have the support of their people with this bill can choose to run independent, because you have the right to run independent. When you run independent, you are not subject to this bill. When the people decide that this party policy, they like it, and for that, they are voting the candidate of this party. If you go and do otherwise, then that means you have violated the will of the Liberian people. That is how it works in many, many, many African countries. Let me give you a salient example.
Yeah, we're concluding now.
When Funatikova was removed, if this bill was enforced, it would never have happened, because the political parties that were opposed to the removal of Funatikova, like CDC,
they would have
and
stood
other
their
parties,
grounds.
would have told their guys to
lawmakers.
say, if you go contrary to what the party said,
We'll investigate
we'll expel you. The party acted against, for instance, Thomas Fala and other people. But Thomas Fala had the right to move from one party to another without consequences. And so, what we are saying, what is the true will of the Liberian people? The true will of the Liberian people from the 2023 election is that they wanted Joseph Boakai to be president of Liberia. In the same expression, they did not want United Party to control the House. United Party has 73 lawmakers on their ticket. The Liberian people in all these counties voted for Joseph Boakai and did not vote for the United Party representatives. That will of the Liberian people is what we are talking about here under the Constitution, the right of the people to choose the person they want. If they make that decision and come to the House, you individual, that 45,000, 50,000 people my brother is talking about, they voted on the party ticket. If you feel that those people don't represent partisan, go run independent. And then when you run independent, you will not be subject to this law. If we don't strengthen our political institutions, our democracy will always be struggling, because it becomes subject to the executive. It becomes subject to the manipulation of the executive. But when this bill is passed, individuals, like Senator Dillon said, you will know that I won't be independent, and I think I can win this election without the party, then go run independent.
Okay, Musa, Hassan, Bility, thank you ever so much. We'll always have you here to talk about these issues of governance, politics, development, and everything. Wish you well, man, on the remaining observance of the holy month of Ramadan.
Yeah, Clarence, please allow me to just say one thing on the issue at the border.
Okay.
I want Liberians to be calm. War we have experienced. It's very easy to start, but it's difficult to end. The Kisi people from Guinea and the Kisi people from Liberia are the same family. President Boakai is, besides being the president, has a very high rank in the Kisi tradition. And that tradition, I know as a matter of fact, runs beyond border. And I'm sure they will use that. He will use its influence in the sub-region to make sure that we have peace. However, I want to ask the government to make sure that this issue is resolved, not just for Liberia, for Sierra Leone, so that a permanent solution is found and this incursion do not happen at all times. And that we as legislators have said it, let us put more money in the budget to support our army. I want to thank the National Police. I was very shocked because this is a border issue and the police being there is above and beyond their duty, their core of duty. And we want to tell them thank you. And let us give more money and let us take some time to ensure that our security forces are properly equipped so that instead of civilians reacting where they have nothing, you cannot compare cutlass with gun, where they have nothing and then they just walk out of bravery to go and defend their country.
Thank you so much. Bility once more support for the military, the armed forces of Liberia. Liberian economist Sam Jackson will walk in very shortly. And then we throw some spotlight on the economy of the country, Liberian businesses from his perspectives. you got to be strong if you wanna survive.
You could be a rich man, you may be a poor man. We are just the same. One life, one blood. Sometimes it gets too hard for you. You even want to kill yourself. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. As long as there is life, just got to be home. Whoa. Keep on trying.
Sam Jackson, Bene Buen.
Keep on trying.
Liberian economist is here. We will talk. I will not shy away from asking him, why did he leave the CDC? Was he a card-bearing member of the CDC in the first place? Oh, okay. I see why he's greeting Bility. Bility is his political leader. Sam Jackson.
If you've been suffering for so long, and there's nowhere to turn, just take it to the Lord and cry. He will be on your side.
And you never gonna fall.
You've been hurt so many times.
You've been let down by all your friends. Don't keep your mind. Keep trying so hard. Some pretend they love you when you hide, but when you down, they laugh at you.
Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up.
As long
There is life, just got to be moved. Oh. Keep on trying, forever and ever. Keep on trying, don't give up. Keep on trying, forever.
Keep on trying, no matter how high it may be. Oh yes, we can bring down the music. I'm a music boy, and so I like singing along sometimes when these songs are playing. Sam Jackson is a Liberian economist. You know, like I've always said, that my first time hearing Sam Jackson was I was in Danande, you know, in the heat of the world.
The refugee camp.
When he was talking about these people have no surveillance administration, and he used a particular word that stuck in my head. He said they're a bunch of interlopers. Mr. Sam Jackson, good morning, man. It's good to see you, man.
Aposo. I mean, thank you so much. I'm so proud of the OK family. I mean, the integrity and the degree of, discipline you guys bring to this. You know, you, Mr. J, and the rest of me, just wonderful. This is probably, the most integrity-filled institution, media institution in the country. Very, very good.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you so much.
For the compliments. Yeah. We feel challenged. We feel we need to do more because a lot of people are watching us. How is life? How is the family? How is everything?
Well, first of all, I'm a cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2015. Okay, and then the degree of affliction was disclosed to me January 2016. So it's been exactly 10 years now. But thank God, my last test. In fact, I'm 3 months overdue for my PSA test because I've been very busy in Liberia. I came since August last year. I've been doing a lot of work in this town. The economy, is good at the very top. So there's a lot of socio-economic development, project planning, all of those things that I've been doing. So I'm very blessed that people believe in my ability and they've been hiring me to do a lot of stuff. So
that's good.
Yeah, but I'll go to South Africa next month, and everybody keep your fingers crossed and getting your hands and your knees for me, for this PSA test. But it looks like it will be okay because I don't have any symptoms, and I'm doing pretty good. So
pretty good.
Yeah.
How is the new business? I asked because I see that on your page on Facebook many times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look. At 73 years old, Clara, this is not about me. I have enough small income to buy my Quaker oats in the morning, to eat my fufu, to sleep, because I live I live in a...
You like fufu a lot. You like swallowing.
Yeah. You know, I inherited my family. You know, I had my own home before, but I got divorced. So I inherited the house. My family were living there. They all moved out. So I rehabbed this house and changed the entire neighborhood, right? So I'm living in this house. I'm not paying any rent. All I have to do is this, man, recharge my LEC meter and buy my little fufu, and I can live. But I wanted to do something for the community, you know, hire some drivers, hire some cleaners, and so my wife and I invested some money in this car service. It's called Tony's Call and Ride. $5 for most destinations. So like from Central Monrovia all the way to Nigeria House is $5. And if you're going beyond that, we just order time, then we add it on. But it's $10 an hour.
$10 a whole hour.
$10 a whole hour. And the number to call, if you don't mind, is 0771-232323 or 0887-232323. And we have a wonderful dispatcher. You hear the voice of a young Liberian woman called Bendu pass away. And anywhere in the city you want to go, anytime you want to go, she will dispatch you there. But
Is it started well?
Oh yeah, you know, everything you do in life, Clarence, you have to build a business, right? So I'm not going to break even for a few months. So I'll continue to invest in the business, the operational expenses, right? But we are advertising heavily, and as we advertise, the demand grows. When the demand grows, the income is going to grow, and then the business is going to get bigger. That is my hope. My hope is not for me to run this thing because but the people who I employ, like the dispatcher, the chief driver, those people can take that because I travel a lot, right? So I'm not in the country a lot. So they would hopefully take that business. And I want to go into another business again, which is pastry, right? I want to do about 3 or 4 more businesses here, small businesses, just to empower my Liberian people, just to help, you know. And when after the war, Clarence, I had an ice factory, I had a bakery, then I had a Total gas station where they say I mismanaged, but all of us lost our money there. But that's another story. But I just want to help. It's not about me anymore. It's about what I contribute to my society.
Okay, let's move on now since we don't have time. Were you ever a card-bearing member of the Coalition for Democratic Change or the Congress for? Were you a member of the CDC?
I was a member of. I'm an NPP man. Okay, all through my bones. Okay. I'm a disciple of Charles Gange Taylor.
Okay.
But like post-war, because we knew that the NPP, because of the war and because all of the other negatives surrounding that, so we decided to build coalitions around people that we thought I could win, and we could also contribute to the development of the country. But so I'm still NPP, and I was NPP when I supported Madame Salif, and I was NPP because of the Coalition for Democratic Change. Okay, but guess what? You'll be very surprised. Okay, the CDC I support is because I'm a progressive, and it's my great degree of populism. I believe in populism. I believe the Mount Wata, the Mount Mary. I look at places like West Point and Newtown, Zorgo, other places, that the lives of those people there hardly change from administration to administration. So my support has always been on populist causes, right? Unfortunately for the CDC and me, they got the power, and there was not a lot of emphasis placed upon creating jobs, creating income, and making life better for the people. And also there was a lot of negative propaganda against them that they did not either have the ability to counter, or they did not take the time to counter, right? Like George Weah, killing 3 boys and harvesting and having about $16 billion missing. All of those things, right? So I was looking for a fighter, okay? Somebody who will fight for my Mary and my water, okay? So one day, I got a call from MUSSA HASSAN BILITY. And this is a man who, he and I, we hardly see eye to eye on a lot of philosophical issues. But he respected me enough to say, Sam, he called me Sam, and I call him MUSSA, okay? His mother-in-law and I go to the same church. When I do go to church, which is about every 2 or 3 years. Lady of Lebanon, but she's passed now, okay? And he called me, and he asked me to join the movement. So I said, let me think about it. So I took a few days and thought about it. And I went into this guy's background, where he came from, what he has accomplished, and all of the things that he's been pushing, Liberian economic empowerment. And what he's built Shrimex, a multi-million-dollar business. He built his net worth. Now, this is a guy that doesn't need government money. And this guy's been talking about building roads, building bridges with his own money. So I was impressed with that. So then I was called on board to be the economic strategist for him, and I'm taking it very seriously.
So you're the current economic strategist of the CMC.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're taking it seriously.
I'm taking it seriously. But he's tasked me to go into the political economy of Liberia, okay, using his vision to create, to espouse his economic policies to the people of Liberia. His first priority.
You have a huge task.
No, but we have a team. It's not just about me,
You as the team, I mean.
Oh yeah, no, but it's not but look, the vision is clear. When the vision is clear, the number one thing in that vision is creating jobs and improving the lives of the people. Clarence, look at what is going on in Liberia right now. The economy at the top.
We're coming right there. Okay, so since you jumped there, let's just go. I just wanted to know why you left the CDC. Yeah. So you're comfortable being with the CMC?
But you saw me hugging the CMC just now. But we are friends first. We respect each other first. And we have some philosophical differences in approach. Because he's more of a moderate politician, and I'm more of a radical politician. I believe in hitting the establishment very hard. He believes in engaging the establishment in terms of with the degree of moderation, right? But in terms of his vision, I support his vision. I understand his vision, and his things about empowering Liberians, economic empowerment for Liberians, which has to be the fulcrum, the base of any economic development strategy.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, let's move on. I'd like to know your thoughts. What are your views on the current economic circumstances in the country?
Look,
you sit at a very good point with an advantage of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, Clarence, I do a lot of work for the transnational corporations in this country, financial institutions, and the development community. The numbers for Liberia are looking very, very good. GDP approaching 5 billion, growth rate by 5.3. And the most important thing is that our trade deficit, we used to have more imports than exports. Our trade deficit has now turned into a trade surplus. And the current account, which is the amount of money going out versus money coming in, we have more money coming in now than money going out. The only thing that we don't have a handle on is the systemic problem of mass poverty. Mass poverty continues to be, which I call the Achilles heel of the Liberian political economy. Doing things for Mount Wata, Uncle Flomo. If you look at historically, the 50s and 60s, we saw tremendous growth, economic growth. In fact, the second highest growth on the planet next to Japan. Singaporeans, Malaysians, and others came here to adopt our open door policy to attract foreign direct investments. But we had a great disparity in wealth. There was a lot of wealth inequality, where only 5% of the population were responsible for 80% of income. We have the same problem today. And then we also have a huge disparity in income and wealth between Liberians and our foreign partners. Okay, so we don't call the Fula people foreigners because a significant number of them are Liberians, right? Let's say maybe half and half, okay? But there are about 100,000 Fula businesses in Liberia today. There are 4,300 Lebanese-owned businesses, 300 Indian companies, 3,500 Indian employees.
You meant to say 300 Indian businesses.
Yeah, I meant to say 300, I'm sorry. 300 Indian businesses, I'm sorry, and 3,500 Indian workers. Now, let's look at the composition of GDP, right? We look at the services sector. In the services sector, who lead the services sector? The Lebanese, the Indians, the Fulas, and others, right? The hotels, the restaurants, and what have you. Look at the mining sector. There is hardly any Liberian with equity participation in ArcelorMittal, in B Mountain, in Chico, the Popolo project, in all of the major mining projects. Last year, $894.6 million worth of gold left Liberia. Not last year, 2024. 2025 figures are not available yet. But I project there will be over $1.2 billion in gold exports. You know what that has done? That has shifted in terms of our trading partner. Europe is now our largest trading partner, and our largest trading country is Switzerland. 99% of that gold is going to Switzerland. We don't have $1 in gold reserve. There is now one Swiss financial institution in this country or one Swiss company of any significance in this country. And Liberians continue to be among the 8th, 7th, or 9th poorest country, depending upon...
Why things are the way they are, especially in the mining sector? Is it because of the way our laws are? Do you think we need to make amends to the law to create some Liberian millionaires and billionaires and shareholders in some of these concession companies?
Let me be very dramatic. And I think all of you are there listening. Liberia should not grant any more mineral development agreement to a foreign company. No more.
You were right. Somebody just sent me the figure. 2024 alone, gold export, $895 million.
Yeah, 894.6.
Yeah.
Spoken rounding up.
Yeah.
Of course.
Go ahead.
Oh, so you are fact checking me?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, look at the other man. I understand. I understand.
But that's my job.
No, I understand.
Go ahead.
So, no, what I'm saying to you is, we're talking about the liberalization. Let me tell my phone.
And I want us to spend some time on that. Because another time you posted, you said, from Broad Street to EAW Junction, there are these amounts of supermarkets, and Liberians do not want.
Yeah, but let's just take on the mineral sector for like 2 minutes,
Let's
right?
go there, yeah.
Oil blocks, right? They gave away the last time by 8 oil blocks, right? To a Nigerian company with a lot of technical deficiencies that is being thrown out of most countries, and yet we gave Atlas Orento, we gave him another oil block. After this guy came here in 2003, right after the war, got blocks number 11, 12, and 14, never did any serious investment in it, didn't even have any money. And he sold it to Chevron for over $200 million and kept 30%. He flipped it. You look at El Anito in 2009, 2008 December, the Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy put out a request for proposal. El Anito was not even a company on December 1st. They formed it around December 15 in Anguilla, and they won the thing, but guess what they did? They flipped it to the current Sessegoa that owns the Western Cluster today. So what I'm saying, for all of you out there, like the Liberian government should now say, no more mineral development agreement class A license to any foreign-owned company. We give it to a Liberian, you go ahead, you fashion yourself, you fix yourself, you attract a international partner, and then you have equity and the wealth will stay in the country. That should be the policy of any government. No more, Clarence, should we be making others wealthy while we remain the poorest on the planet. No more should we be subjecting Mount Wata to the great degree of economic inequality here between her and those who just came here as our partners. We look at Tottenham Boulevard. Look at the resurgence of Tottenham Boulevard. It looks like Rodeo Drive in many places. 15 or more supermarkets from 2nd Street, Greenland, all the way to exclusive at EAW Junction. Not one Liberian-owned supermarket, exclusive, Stop and Shop, Asma, all of those. What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? And people will say, but Sam, why haven't you done that? I did it. I had a Total gas station, remember, on Tottenham Boulevard. But because of the justice system in this country, they stole me blind, I did not have access to go ahead and write that, so I lost all my money.
From where do we start?
Okay,
in the context of using existing laws or provisions or whatever, but putting more Liberians in these things.
Okay.
You think from where do we start?
Okay, so you have something called the regulatory framework, right?
Mm-hmm.
To attract foreign direct investment. So every country has a strategy, a thrust, a strategic position to attract foreign direct investment. Some countries have no restrictions on foreign direct investment. It means that any foreigner can come to Liberia, come to the country and do any business, right? But what I found out is it was due to the state of development of the country, where any country that started in this origin always have restrictions on foreign direct investment, including Ghana today. The Ghanaian National Investment Code, you can go to page 1, I think, or page 2. In order to open a retail business in Ghana, you must bring in $300,000 and hire at least 10 Ghanaians. And then when you have Ghanaian partners in other businesses, right, you have certain tax abatements and certain emoluments that go along with that. But the idea is for your citizens to participate in equity, to be owners, because the Liberian economy came from a point of zero in 2003, 90% contraction of GDP, to now where we're producing surplus. But in that growth, Liberians have not fully participated in that growth. Oh, we made a few million, yes, but we still mass poverty for more than 90% of the population is still a problem. So, number one, I want some restrictions on foreign direct investment, more restrictions, and enforcement of the 17 businesses that
exclusively for Liberians?
Yes, in the 2010. In fact, in 2010, the World Bank, IFC, and others came here when Linda Thomas Greenfield was there. They wanted to remove all restrictions, including ice cream business, water selling, all that thing there, because Linda Thomas Greenfield was telling, but what if a company wants to, a foreign company wants to do a big ice cream factory? Would you stop them? Okay. So my thing was to her, at the state of development of every country in the world, there has been a restriction. They wrote 4 pages. I wrote 25 pages to counter them. And Ellen Salif, to her credit, and she's alive, you can go ask her, she called me in. And what I did was, I contributed my service pro bono, Liberian Business Association, to counter them. Go ask Sam Mitchell, go ask Maxwell Kimaya, right? And I counter that, and we kept 17 businesses. But the thing is enforcement. The other thing is that we have to enforce our labor laws. Our labor laws.
They're good, but we're not enforcing them.
But if you granting, how do you have 3,500 Indian nationals doing? Are they doing any technical? Is this Silicon Valley here? You have Indian accountants. You have Filipino pastry sellers. You have all kinds of people doing all kinds of businesses. I mean, all kinds of things that Liberians can do. In Ghana, that will never happen because Ghanaians are given the right to employment. When you employ foreigners in a job that your people can do, what you do is you are surrendering your wealth to foreigners. Okay? You're surrendering your wealth to foreigners. You got how many? 20,000 maybe university graduates a year. I think LU graduated 5,000 other day. You cannot be just a graduate. You must be employed. You must contribute to the economy. That is what the point. The pimping industry, for example, creates more jobs for Liberians than the mining and painting industry.
Which industry?
The pimping industry. Motorcyclists.
Motorcyclists.
Yes. There are more motorcyclists, Liberian motorcycle employed in the motorcycle industry than there are Liberians in the mining industry. You see the anomaly there? Okay? And then if you look at the organogram, if you look at the job status in all of these mining companies, look at the composition of management in terms of the top management, mostly foreigners, and technical management, mostly foreigners.
Now, let me ask you, what's stopping our state institutions from prioritizing Liberian ownership, Liberian companies? Say, for example, when the government puts a bid for construction of roads, why don't we prioritize Liberian companies to win bids, to win contracts? Is it that we do not have the capacity? When we put a bid for mining, when we put up these different bids, what stopped us from making Liberian-owned companies a priority to say we cannot select a different company except Liberian companies do not have the capacity to do this work?
So let me ask you a question. El Enito, that was a scrap company that was formed 21 days after the Western Cluster bid came out. They did not have the technical and financial. Okay, but what they did, they went and what? Acquired that. Anything you want to do is all about putting together a business model, a business case, and you can raise that money, and you can outsource the technical and financial capacity. That is the bigger mistake that we make. You give foreigners that don't have the technical and financial ability because they're white, okay, because they're non-Liberians, and then they use their whiteness and then use their foreigners to go in there and attract foreign participation to make them to do the window dressing, to make them to be able to operate in your country. But you don't do the same thing for your Liberian people.
So we're saying the same thing, Mr. Jackson. We're saying the same thing. My concern is, so what stopped our state institution? Because in other countries, government make millionaires.
Yes.
Government make its citizens millionaires.
Dangote.
Yeah.
Dangote, for example, you know the story with Dangote with the cement injury, where Obasanjo...
It is credited to Olusegun Obasanjo.
Obasanjo went to him and said, you will be the largest cement manufacturing in this thing.
So why don't we do that?
Because there is not the political will. There has to be the political will. It has to be it's called economic nationalism. Economic nationalism is what we don't have. Economic nationalism is what blinds us to the fact that there are 15 or more supermarkets on Tottenham Boulevard and there are no Liberian owners. The same thing that blinds us to the fact that you have all these foreign multinational mineral companies and there are no Liberian equity participation. We are not economic nationalists.
When do we get over this?
So it has to start today. So for example, for something like all of the outstanding mines today, like Putu, for example, we should not give Putu to a foreign company. We should not give Timbo to a foreign company. All of the existing mines, we should not give any more All Blacks to a foreign company. Unless they have Liberian equity participation in the Liberian must be the owners. Because I wrote a book, Rich Land, Poor Country.
Poor country.
If you look at the mineral asset of this country, it's in the trillions of dollars. Hundreds of billions in iron ore asset. Then you have oil assets, potential oil assets. Then you have rare earth minerals. You have all of these, right? Then you have the forest. 40% of the Guinea forest is here. You can make this the best wood processing industry in this country. Now, my detractors were asking about Sam Jackson, but you were there before. Why you this? No, I have never been in a position in my life where I would make policy in 1980. I was only there for 10 months. And under Charles Taylor, I came in 2002 when the war was already in Monrovia. I have never had the opportunity on a peacetime to be in a government.
Were you not in the Ellen regime?
No.
Were you now one of our economic advisors?
No. I did special projects for her. For example, like Chronicle Socio-Economic Development by writing like an MDG report, and she employed me and seconded me into the UN between 2012 and 2014 to help to create what they call the Sustainable Development Goals. But that was only chronicling socio-economic development. That was not crafting economic development policy that included economic empowerment. The only place that I have done that is in South Africa, where I went there in the mid-90s and sat down with the ANC boys and developed something called the Black Economic Empowerment Model that made billionaires and millionaires. Okay? But we can do the same thing here.
Are you willing to second yourself, provide pro bono, or even if it is beyond pro bono, are you willing to work with our government? And people think you are a hardliner, you are more political, you want to get yourself through. People think you're more political than you speak.
So here's the thing. I write a lot. Go look at my writings. Don't forget about my politics. I wrote a book, sold 5,000 copies internationally. I wrote 2 books. One, Rich Land, Poor Country, which is basically give you the origin of your poverty status. Then I wrote another book, which is the post-COVID dispensation, what to do post-COVID, which is called How a Pathogen Ruled the World. So I wrote that. I wrote your MDG reports. I write all these things. I'm on Facebook on a daily basis, educating, giving you economic data. My politics is radical because I'm angry that we are so poor and that I have so much and others have so little. That is my anger. So if I express my anger that way, it's not about me. I'm 73 years old. I'm 73 years old. I have everything that I need to live and to die. But the time is coming. That's my fear, is that others will not have the great life that I'm enjoying. Okay? I want my wife, our children to have the same kind of life, the same kind of education, the same kind of opportunity to be able to go to Southern Africa and bring the most beautiful woman to Liberia. I want to be able to do all those things.
Liberian economist Sam Jackson is our guest this morning. We're looking at the economy of the country. He's seeing it differently. He says we need to make more Liberian millionaires. When you were talking about political will, in what context were you talking about?
Okay, so here is the thing, right? Every mineral development agreement in this country must be what? Ratified by what?
By the legislature.
With the legislature represents who? The people, right?
People. They are the deputies.
Exactly. Okay, with oversight, right? So if our legislators don't understand, okay, and don't realize, and if some of them taking brown envelopes, and it's not me, okay, the ProPublica reports in 2007 with a rental deal said the legislators took bribe. And that has been the allegations against successive legislators in legislature, right? So they have to enact a law to say no more granting of mineral development agreement or all blacks to foreign-owned companies. We give it to Liberians, okay, with certain technical qualification and certain business model qualification. We give it to them and let them go bring in strategic partners. Or an international company come in, they must have a strategic local partner with at least 50% or 40%. We must have a look.
Mr. Jackson, some of these laws are done that way. I mean, the latter you spoke about.
Yeah.
There are provisions that, for example, whether it's B. Martin ArcelorMittal, they will say after 5 years of the agreement, after 10 years, you will see Liberian in the position. But sometimes they don't work.
No, but here is the thing. Let's look at the Minerals and Mining Law of Liberia, right, of 2000. I was part of the Taylor government that wrote that, right? It is clear, Section 9.22 says that the state must have up to 15% equity in every Class A license in the country. And in most of the agreements that we signed, the 66, the 64, the 66 agreement, we didn't do that. Our labor laws are very clear that Liberians must have the first opportunity for jobs. But they say the enforcement, it is the irrational lack of economic nationalism that make us to be the poorest. This will never happen in Southern Africa. This will never happen in Ghana. If you go to Ghana, the richest people in Ghana are Ghanaians. The richest in America are Americans. The richest in South Africa are South Africans. The richest in Nigeria are Nigerians. But the richest in Liberia are not Liberians.
Are not Liberians. Sam Jackson, Liberian economist. Let's go to the lounge now. 0777-700-995. He's talking tough about the economy of the country, labor laws and its implementation and ratification, and the way we look at our laws to make more Liberian millionaires. 0777-700-995. Sam Jackson is here, and this is the Morning Rush. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Clarence Jackson.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you. What's your name?
My name is Matthew Eskumo, and I call from Carwell, New Georgia.
All right, Matt.
Okay, let me take this time to appreciate Mr. Jackson's studio for his splendid discussion on economic policy and all that is everything he has said. Mr. Jackson, most of our people that we claim to have money, right, that live in luxury of life. Mm-hmm. What are their investments? What are their investments? Mr. Jackson is saying you go on the Tottenham Boulevard, there are supermarkets. Who are stopping Liberians who have money to invest? These are the same people that have been around power for a very long time. What is going on with this country? People go Ghana, they invest. Liberians go Sierra Leone, Nigeria, and invest. Why they can't invest here?
Okay, while they can invest here, let me take Representative Edward Papi Flomo. Color Green, go ahead.
Thank you, Clarence. Let me say thank you to the.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Let me say thanks to your studio guests there. I would like to agree with him on some issues, particularly as relate to some businesses that are owned by foreigners. Clarence, sometimes I feel very disappointed to see people who feel that they come from foreign land and come here as investors and they are selling in store and selling the least thing that you think that any Liberians could do.
Okay, Papi. These local land get us in. Go ahead. Conclude, Edward. Are you there? Oh, I'm sorry. These local calls sometimes intercept, man. Interfere, rather. Hello. Good morning. Are you there? You're not there. We'll take this call. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, Clarence.
Yeah.
My name is Wilmer Guy Joe.
Yeah, Wilmer Guy. Let's hear.
I want to thank Mr. Jackson this morning for his explanation. It is true that many of us Liberians are poor while the country has a lot of resources and the rest of that. And I agree with him on one point. I we need to begin to create Liberians who are millionaires and billionaires. But the economic makeup of our country makes it extremely difficult for us to implement the conditions that Mr. Jackson is trying to propose. Now, for example, you have Putu Mine that he says as an example. And he wants a Liberian to be able to take over Putu Mine. Parents have seen instances where I've been able to witness financing of complex mining projects in Liberia. Those are very expensive endeavors. It requires almost close to move Putu Mine to production requires nothing less than about $500 million. Now, who is the Liberian that we can entrust with that kind of project to go in the international market to go and raise money, to go and fund that project? It is difficult. We ourselves as a country do not even have
maybe like you said, the way our laws are, or probably the way some of our procedures are. But don't you think there are Liberians sitting here who've got, because Jackson's argument is that remember, some of these people have absolutely nothing. They come to this country and all they need is the clearance or whatever document, and they go use this document to bring money. Are you saying we cannot find Liberians amongst us? Yeah.
Clarence, let Mr. Jackson sit with the people in government and propose to them about 5-6 Liberians. They can form a conglomerate or a consortium, and then ask the government of Liberia to give them the right to move ahead to develop the Putu project. So let's see if they can move forward to be able to get an international market and raise that money.
Okay,
I know of a company. You know why people can get money in their countries to be able to finance the big projects across Africa? It is because the banks in their countries are willing to have the financial capacity to fund these projects. Which bank you have here locally that can be able to fund a massive mining project and put to mining? So our economic structure needs complete revamp to be able to move into the kind of economic progress that Mr. Jackson is proposing on the show this morning.
Okay, Rimoga. Let's take a few calls. Brilliant point. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Clarence Jackson. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay. I'm Benedict W. Sobel of Maryland County. I'm pleased to phone in this morning. Before I can go ahead, I must admit I've been following you for a very long time, and I admire all the work you do for Liberia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Let's hear you now.
Yeah, so to the issue, Mr. Clarence, Mr. Sam Jackson is actually saying the truth. When it comes to Liberians being in the forefront of their economy, it's actually lacking. And our government should allow the foreigners to come and take absolute control of our economy. That is wrong. We are being enslaved in our own country. We are being used by those foreign nationals. And it's wrong. It's wrong. Liberia should be given the right to own key businesses, to operate key businesses in the land. So why you say I actually support that idea?
Okay. Another caller. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Oh. Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay, I was trying to get on.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Lafayette Bena.
Yeah.
And I call you from a Broadway resident.
Yeah.
veteran Samuel Jackson is a Liberian economy that most of all young people are willing to resuscitate and bear from. You know, most of the policy prescription that he brings to the discourse, it is a long-lasting development plan for our country. But our people are not doing well, to be honest. On a broad basis, they will not want to allow people to even get on the job and learn on the job. They will bring the turkey, like in the case of Kevin, then they call them experts. What about they will be learning for our very Liberians?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Let me read some of the comments on our page, and then we'll go back to Mr. Sam Jackson to respond to some of the concerns. Seni Dagosa, he said, I'm following from Dambala town. Okay. Joseph Kaya, he said, making millionaires will be difficult in Liberia because most of these business people are politicians. It will be difficult for government, for instance, to support an opposition business politician. Ghana and Nigeria business people are more focused on business, but in Liberia, that's not the case. How can, like the other person, Simeon Gaizon, how can Liberia have more billionaires when your government believes in foreigners and aliens than their own citizens? This is very bad. I trust Sarah, you say, Wulimoga is preconceived. Mr. Sam Jackson, let's come over to you.
So, all of this question here, it shows me, and no offense, I'm using ignorance in terms of lack of knowledge, right? It tells me that the Liberian people don't understand capitalism. And then, also, they're not realistic, because if you look at South Africa, the ANC made ANC people millionaires. In Mozambique, they made Frelimo people millionaires. If you look at Ghana, it's the NPP and the NDC boys who are millionaires. They're in business in America. The politicians have businesses. What about it? Elon Musk is the largest contributor to political campaigns of revenue politicians. Peter Thiel and other people. But so in Liberia, we have this discombobulated thing about not making politicians rich. Yes, we should do private sector, which should be like 95% of the people in the economy in the private sector. But on occasions, if the politician has the entrepreneurial spirit, as long as he's not working within the government, do not use public office to enrich yourself. But if you have a political view and you want to get rich, to advance that political view is nothing with that. The other thing is, I don't believe that my Liberian people don't know that if you have an asset, if they give you a mountain, Clarence, if they give you an oil block, there are intrinsic values to that. They're already worth money. So all you need to do is do a prospectus, which I did on Wall Street for years, right? Do a prospectus, and that's exactly what the companies did. Oreos that own put on oil mining company, right? They came here with little or no money, maybe $200,000-$400,000. But when they got the asset, the exploration license, then they did something called a prospectus. Then they went to what they call venture capitalists. They went to hedge funds. Mila Brompo, you don't know about hedge funds? You don't know about venture capitalists? People with trillions of dollars sitting out there looking for a place to invest? That's what these guys do. Every single mining company here is on a stock exchange. Hummingbird is on the Toronto Stock Exchange. The ArcelorMittal is on a stock exchange. So what they do, Clarence, you get the asset, then you build a business case prospectus around it, and you do something called a pitch deck. Me and Labros don't know what a pitch deck is. There's not enough money in this country to finance anything. The total, and this is, I'm just guessing, okay, about $1.2 billion in total banking assets out of 9 banks and 93 branches. You can't even finance a factory for $10 billion, $20 million in Liberia. So most of the funding is going to come from outside. And most of the funding is coming from outside. The funding to build Tottenham Boulevard is not coming from here. It's not coming from here. The funding to build mines in Ghana is not coming from Ghana. China was not built by money that came in from China. It came in from the Chinese diaspora that were living in Singapore, that were living in the United States. Okay? The dams and other stuff that is being built in Ethiopia is built by domestic money and international money. You should have the brain power when you get the asset. Let's do the economics go and research intrinsic value. It means that Putu has a value because it has $4.5 billion, 4.5 billion tons, okay, of JORC. JORC is a committee, it's an association that rates mineral assets. When you do your mineral development, you take it to them, they rate it, and once they say you get 4.5 billion in terms of tons, now you have an intrinsic value. Then how did Severstar, the Russian company, buy it from Orioles for hundreds of millions of dollars? And there has been not one mine, that not one single ton of iron ore has come in from Putu. But somebody bought it. Somebody bought it. Before Western Cluster, we have 1 ton of iron ore came from there. Somebody bought it. B Mountain, before one ounce of gold came from there, it was sold to MNG. That's what we have to understand. The creation of business cases. That is what is lacking in this thing. We don't understand capitalism. The foreigners understand capitalism, and they use capitalism because we are more communalistic. We are more limited in terms of how we think. Okay? A business case. The reason why we don't have a great tourism industry in this country, for example, because we still calling ourselves post-war. Post-war, 23 years after war, we still calling. How can you attract people to come to a post-war country when you use war? When you use war in your vocabulary? I'm asking you a question. So the whole branding thing, because Liberia, we should teach a course in basic capitalism in all of the universities and colleges here. That is what I'm saying, and I just want to say to you, we should not grant Putu to a foreign company. We should give it to Liberian. And then lastly, the reason why I'm supporting MUSSA HASSAN.
Go ahead, Mr. Jackson. Let's conclude quickly.
The reason why I'm supporting MUSSA HASSAN BILITY, he understands that. He built a business in this country, a multi-million-dollar business. And I will be advising MUSSA HASSAN BILITY when the CNC comes to power. We're not going to grant any mineral development asset or any all blacks to a foreign company that does not have substantial Liberian equity participation or 100 fully owned Liberian companies. End of conversation. And we should not grant any more, what do you call it in labor, what do you call it in
permit, work permit.
Work permits to foreigners for Liberian to do just to put a ban on granting work permits to foreigners for things that Liberians can do. That's what they do in every serious country.
Mr. Jackson, I'd like to say thank you so much, Liberian economist and a ranking member of the Citizens Movement for Change, charged with the responsibility of heading a committee to look at Liberia's economy and how the governance in the context of the economic decisions will be made in the event the CMC came to power. Mr. Jackson, I'd like to say thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Oh, man, I'm taking my usual weekend break. I'd like to say